Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Albaron, Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. That really threw me off. Oh, man. Thinking about him as Ash Ketchum is fantastic. Not a sponsor. I'm Joe Trafford, DM this evening, and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Tina, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. We're all back after our summer break. If you joined us last night, we played Starfinder. Now we're playing D&D. Or at least we will in just a second. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. We played Mosaic Team 5 last night, which was great. It was a nice little post-Snakes on a Train adventure. And so that will re-air on YouTube on Sunday at noon at Albaron RPG, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have an Instagram at Albaron RPG. We have a TikTok. What is it called? TikTok?
Yeah, we have a TikTok.
It's at Albaron RPG?
At our Albaron RPG, there's one post. Okay. Please go like it.
But it's at Albaron. We do ats. That's the thing.
I guess there's ads. I don't know. Okay. You'll find us. It's the same handle.
It's on the TikTok. Yeah, Albaron RPG.
Use the ticks to do the talks.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then also we have a website, albaronrpg.com. I just updated it a little bit. So there's finally sort of new stuff. I have like a vague idea as to how it will look. So once again, it'll be like the 5th iteration of the website. And then last week and the week before that, we had a break, obviously, but we did air 2 original one-shots on YouTube. They're now up also on Twitch. That was for Starfinder, the original one-shot called The Influencers. Many people here were there. And that just followed a bunch of social media influencers going undercover and just they're supposed to take pictures. That's it. So very boring. And then, and then after that, we have Camp Bright Cove, which is set in canon to this campaign. It is far south on the continent of Mithril. A lot of people here were there as well. And also just a normal day at a summer camp. So both of those are up on YouTube. And then for the music that you can hear behind me, and then other music and sound effects, things like the Wilhelm scream, things like the teleport fire, which is a little bit longer. Teleport is a higher level spell. Sirenscape, digital sound set that you could use. Yeah, I know. Well, I kind of
regular fire.
I picture that as like the Terminator, you know, when like the dude enters, he's all naked, and there's that burning circle.
Or like that future movie where they go back.
That future movie where they go back. Not a sponsor.
Heck no, not a sponsor.
With Taupe, PhD. Yeah, so Sirenscape, digital tool set, you can add sound into your games. And with that, I can get us into our recap. Give me just 1 second here. Okay. Wandering Hearts, last we played, you fought the Angry Man. This creature, humanoid, Valis was able to tell not undead or fiendish in any way, but even in this state, their brains seem to sublimate into tendrils of shadow from an exposed skull. Much like many of the other people within the ruins of Kirlor Tel Eldar, this individual had the exact same message for all of you, that you shouldn't be here. Despite this, you were able to defeat them in a combat that involved a healthy amount of displacement and strange positioning that put all of your spellcasters at risk.
It wasn't quite a Benny Hill situation.
No, it was almost. It was very, very close.
It was a lot of cardio.
Sirenscape, get on that music. Yeah.
Hannah.
What? What did
Helen told me to blame you.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
So we'll get to that quickly. You found a group of Duragar after that, exploring the various rooms off this main hallway, going through chambers and finding a lot of ruin. But these Duragar had won over a forge and seemed to be working on a dark sword with elaborate handguard. They, like the other NPCs that you'd met, had the same message, that you shouldn't be here. Their companion seemed a little bit less swayed, and with a good check from one of you, I can't remember who, it's been 2 weeks, you were able to persuade this individual to lead you away from this place and towards the place that the echoes of the Shadowfell seemed to be coming from, deep below. They told you that they were from the Grimrune Union, sent to find out what was causing these shadows to skitter across something called the Grimrune Barrier, though nobody inquired as to what that was. They explained that they could hear echoes of the Shadowfell coming from the Underdark. Ori, you agreed to give Rez some chocolate, which seemed to help him concentrate, and this impish familiar for you, Alina, suggested that perhaps, with some of the details now brought into focus, the things that were being discussed were a little bit like a succubus, perhaps, although still a little unclear as to where all the shadows come into play. As the Duergar opened up the fourth seal, and the sixth door opened, Duergar stepped underneath, and Ori, you in haste, ducked underneath. Almost immediately, a strange look crosses your face, and that is where we begin the scene.
Is it like a... like a...
Just
Or
for
he just smelling a fart, maybe? I was kind of hoping that he was just smelling a fart.
just for my records, Joe.
that
What
dwarf.
day is it?
Second,
Let one rip.
it is the 19th of Summertide, Thursday. The afternoon, vaguely.
Damn, it's been Thursday, the 19th of Summertide for a while.
You guys go a little slow sometimes.
It's been a
yes.
busy day. We've
So-
been so busy.
Okay,
Ori,
cool.
you see in front of you as the door behind you continues to rise up slowly, shedding dust and little bits of stone. There is in front of you a huge ramp, not one that spirals down. It's just a graded, steep stone ramp. You can see it's carved, and there are these cross hatches at one time that probably allowed for a little bit better grip. But as this place has lain in ruin for so long, there are many places where the pebbles have accumulated, and it's much slicker now. You actually remember just a couple minutes ago a staircase breaking and forming almost like a ramp.
So this is basically like just a slow ramp with faded steps.
Slow is generous.
Well,
It's pretty steep.
Gradual, yeah.
Yeah. You can see that this goes down deep and deep. What is the range of your dark vision?
I believe it's 90. Just
Okay.
double check that.
Is anybody else now as the door up at the top going underneath?
Can I like...
Oh, look.
Okay.
Is he
You and
still
Minka
like
looking.
right in front of me?
Yeah.
How far ahead?
He gets to like the edge of the ramp, and you can see like squints far ahead and seems to be looking at something. What has your attention a little bit more than any of the things that you've seen here is up at the top. And he doesn't pay any attention to this. And so it's kind of up to you whether or not how you react to it. But there is a number of tattered elements of cloth. These are perhaps tapestry-like in nature. They're much thinner. These would be more like banners.
Oh, shit. What? Oh.
And most of them are like ruined and absolutely tattered, but they seem to be like almost like coats of arms or something like that. Very much designed to make a history check.
Do I get my thing?
No.
It's like tapestries, only bigger.
Starting off strong
Smaller.
tonight with...
There seems to be a history with
A seven.
tapestry in this group. it
Okay.
seems.
Ori has not had kind interactions with tapestries. So Ori, what was your roll?
7.
With a 7, unclear as to what this would be, and that's unfortunate.
Probably related to the order that is here. I forget. I gotta look at my notes.
It's just one word. And you read Elvish, of course, so you know what Isoleros means. But
Oh.
that just hangs up there above.
What was the word?
Okay. Just gonna continue gazing down at whatever has caught Ingram's attention.
Make a deception check.
Share the word.
21.
Okay. You can see Ori kind of like stutter steps for a moment and then walks through. For you and Minka, as you walk in, even for you, who I believe have a dark vision of 100 feet,
120.
120 feet,
Nice.
you can see down, the ramp goes down and down and down and down, and you just see at the bottom, 120 feet down, where it begins to curve into a floor. You can see these are stone tiles that have been laid here. Elements of it do appear to have been carved from like the natural stone, but in other places, there's masonry that has been laid in.
Have we been walking for more than an hour from the battle?
In terms of like
when
would a reasonable person take an hour to get to where you have? No. But you guys taken an hour to get from where the battle was to here? Also, no, probably about 30 minutes.
Okay, so the daylight spell is still active then.
Correct, yes. You probably have, I think, about 20 minutes left of that.
Yep. Okay, just want to see.
So there's
Do I see the
60
banner up
radius
top?
of bright lights.
Because I also know Elvish.
There's multiple,
When I
right?
cross through the threshold.
Make a perception check.
There were multiple banners, right?
Many of them are like tattered. There was only one that had any kind of writing, and even that pretty faded.
Gotcha. Okay.
8.
You can see just all around ruins. These tapestries or banners, or maybe just like bed sheets, hard to tell, but just like clinging to elements of the rafters and places where once lanterns probably could stand. But aside from that, it's dark in here, and then Minka, like, daylight spell right in front of your field of vision, and you like have to blink it out, and it's hard to see.
This dude has stopped, so I'm gonna like kind of sidle up to him.
Okay.
So we go down here.
So he just goes, shh, something is wrong. And he like squints, and you can see, he can see something maybe just a little bit further away than where you can. And he says, you are supposed to be pretty quiet, right?
Yeah, generally.
Go and have a look. There's supposed to be an opening, but it looks caved in.
I like look back at everyone else. Has everyone reached where we are?
I'll duck through and go in.
I'm gonna. I guess I'll be back.
Wait, hold on.
No, let him. No.
And then for Tina and Matt, two of you gotta lean in a little bit towards Vincent. Oh yeah, very casually like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna use an action. So the last we saw Rez, I had told him that he could go to his pocket dimension if he wanted, and he poofed away. So I'm gonna use an action to summon him and be like, "It's game time, buddy. Are you ready to go do some recon?"
So he just appears, and you can see this chubby little imp, or you can sense if he's invisible. This chubby little imp has like taken the space in front of you, and they just go, "Yeah, no, I'm always ready.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not scared or anything."
No, that's awesome. All right, so hold on one second. Why don't we just send Rez?
Insight check on
He's small and sneaky.
What?
He can
Wow.
be invisible.
Lori's so good at it.
Okay, thank you.
How's about send him with me and he can alert all of you if something bad happens.
That didn't go so well last time.
Right, but that's because
Alina, can you
he's
just
trying
tell
to
him though he can't just go on ahead if we think it's dangerous?
Right, you
That's
guys
what
can go
I'm-
together.
Buddy
But-
system. Remember, Ori? We talked about
Yep.
this.
And
Our buddies. That's it.
well, this is a great time for bonding. Okay, so don't speed on
No,
ahead, right?
no, but
stick with Rez.
Yep.
Stick with Ori.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And Rez, if you think that something bad might happen to either of you, you can just let me know telepathically. So we can talk to each other.
You can hear it in your head.
dick.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
And then you can hear out loud, Ori, I'm really excited for a chance to mend our relationship. You can't see him, he's invisible. But he just says,
But I can hear him, right?
oh yeah, absolutely. He's saying this out loud.
Okay.
So like all of you can hear that part, for sure.
Well, if things go well,
I do a
I would be happy to share some more
Every time
of
I
my
try to
delicious
figure out
chocolate with you.
Even without an insight check, you feel like before there was certainly like a little bit of smarminess to it, just like a tiny bit of an edge, and then all of a sudden it changes very much to, oh, you still have more chocolate?
I'm the only one.
So be nice.
Or, if he dies, can it just be yours?
Please do not take advice from Cheshire.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's
I
go.
won't. All right.
Get ready.
And then you just hear this as he begins to kind of flap slowly ahead.
Sneak my way cautiously down.
Make a stealth check. Make a stealth check for Rez at advantage because he's
I
invisible.
remember.
That's what you do.
It's good. It's good.
Rez is rolling bad tonight.
Be like a little sign that says "Remember guidance."
It's a plus a D4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
plus 5. That's 10.
25.
Okay, so very hidden and sneakier. You get down low and you find places where the pebbles won't scatter as you step. Behind you, you can just hear Rez going, nah, 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 nah. And he's just like humming this little theme song. And he goes, oh, no, right, you're right. Sorry, I'm just excited about the chocolate. Can you see that? And like as you're already like 20 feet ahead, it seems like Rez can see just maybe. What's Rez's dark vision? It's 120. Yeah. Seems like Rez can see just a little further than you.
No, what is it?
It's like a collapse or a cave in or something like that.
Oh, that's what he said, but there's nothing else down there.
And then you just hear when he gets about 5 feet further ahead, and he just goes, "There's a wall and there's a winch." And a bar door. But the bars are broken and twisted. Like inside, like something burst through.
Like this way or the other way?
The other way, the way that we're going.
Alright, I'm coming up to check.
Okay.
Cautiously get closer.
You get closer, and you have to get, probably you have a 90 feet of dark vision, right? So you have to get another 20 feet down, and then you can see the wall begins to materialize, just shades of gray. And you see there is this 10-foot wide gated door that was at one point just iron bars that go straight up. Those have been just blown completely inward. The metal has torn. You can see not like sawed or cut. There are places where it is sheared and twisted. You see that there is also a winch that is designed on the other side of the door to open it, but that was clearly not used in this procedure.
And it's probably non-functional now given the state of the door itself.
Correct, but you could also just step through the twisted hole in the door.
Right, but I'm saying like couldn't reclose it or even like pull the parts out.
Probably, yeah.
Because of their.
Yeah. It would be a task, yeah.
I'm gonna eye for detail, see if there's any hidden clues.
Yeah, make a perception check.
What may have
Is anybody else doing
here.
anything as Ori just kind of disappears and you just hear, no, just kind of disappear down the trail? Disappears a strong word.
Alina gets antsy, and so she's gonna be like, all right, just watch my back, and then like, I don't know, eyes go white maybe, and now she can perceive through Rez's senses.
It's like your whole vision just forward, because he's just a little forward from where you are, and you can see in clearer detail everything that Rez is describing to Ori.
I'll keep watch around us.
Make a perception check.
28.
Okay. With the 28, you look down and you can see there is scraps of leather armor or some kind of stiff fabric, maybe more tapestries, that hang from these sharp and twisted pieces of the bars. Through that, you can see what looks like a room, although unless you get closer, it's still hard to tell much more of. It looks like stone blocks make up the walls and floor of that place. But nothing hiding. You don't see any traps either.
All right. I guess I will. Rez is still invisible, but presuming that he's still present enough for me to notice that he hasn't fucked off.
He rolled a 10 on a stealth check, so every now and then you hear.
Hey.
Yeah.
Tell him what's down there. This seems like something broke through, but I don't know what. This,
Yeah, but also the rock pile. He like points maybe like 10 feet down. You can see an area where like at one point stones had maybe fallen in, where maybe like this had been mined out, but just stone has collapsed in.
Is there anything over there? Like, if I cautiously go there,
Okay.
looking up, does it look like there's something that tunneled up or through, or is there something in this pile of rubble?
You look up, and from the bottom of this, you cannot see the ceiling. From the top, you had looked up because you saw that banner, and you saw a ceiling. It's mostly kind of natural rock that had been carved away, and so you didn't see any like, nice patterns or like vaulting. But it didn't seem like there was any, holes, tunnels, anything like that. Is anybody else doing anything, or is now walking further and further down the ramp?
Is there anything that would catch Cheshire's attention while she's just kind of looking around?
Make a perception check. What was your check?
21.
A 21. So you listen, and for you, Valis, what you really hear is the absence of skittering feet, of flying wings. This is a place where there really isn't a whole lot of life, much like the Fields of Folly. And so, not a whole lot of animal companions down here to talk to. But also, nothing seems to be stalking you from behind, and that's a positive.
Is Beldegrim doing anything? Just like standing?
So he's like down there. He had watched Ori go ahead, and then as Ori kind of sneaks off, he stops for a moment and then just and like begins to follow Ori, letting Ori take a solid like 15-foot lead, but following.
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You look around and you do see these banners. There is one that has a word, Esaleros, which it's not a word in Elvish that you recognize, but it does have that Elvish kind of zing to it. Aside from that, there is ruins all over, and you do see, what is your dark vision?
60 feet.
60 feet. You see a whole lot less than some of the other people.
Billy's just gonna whip out and check on old tattered guy upstairs.
Okay. You close your eyes and you attach your consciousness to the torn off thumbnail in his pocket. And you can see just sitting there, same exact place, is really bundled up. He's turned away and is now facing the door that he came from again, just muttering to himself. Doesn't seem to be much of a change. Okay.
Should we have given Ori a time limit?
No, just let him go.
Or
I mean, I don't want to just sit here.
Well, you said Beldrum started walking, right?
Yeah.
So I'll start walking.
Okay.
With Beldrum.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Oh,
Is that
no.
disadvantage?
Might
as
be.
you are-
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 5s,
2 5s.
which is a total of 5.
Nice. Have you ever had the experience where, like, late at night you put away all of like your like colanders and your metal pans, and then you close the door and you hear something shift, and you're like, "Man, that's tomorrow Joe's problem." The next day you wake up and you open something and it just all falls out.
Yeah.
That's basically what it sounds like. It's just metal ching, 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 down this way. Belgrim stops. You hear like right next to you, Rez go, "Oh man, really?" And like just very loud, echoing across this chamber. You would imagine your sense of like stealth probably gone if there's something nearby.
Did that noise cause anything to like move or rustle?
With your previous check, no. And as you get closer, you can see that through the twisted elements of this like iron door, there is a space that's roughly 20 by 20 feet. You can see there seems to be like natural stone walls in most places, though a lot more masonry back there. There is, so you would be entering from what would be like the northern part of this room. Looking to the east, there seems to be a hall that goes down and away, and then to this, like directly in front of you, there is a hallway that goes down out of your dark vision sight. There is a 10-foot wide barred door in front of that, so seems to be a little bit inaccessible at the moment from this distance anyways. And there is a sign in Elvish over it that reads the Trail of Names.
And that's to the east?
That is to the south.
To the south.
To the east, there is likely a sign, but from your vantage point, you can't see it.
If Alina through Rez's senses would have heard clankety clank man, and she's gonna be like, God damn it. And so she's gonna pop back into her own body and be like, come on.
It's like even louder because you're closer from where you are, so yeah.
I'm just gonna say to the group that's remaining, we should maybe, I feel like maybe we shouldn't be separated at this point, and she's gonna start heading down.
Okay, no problem. So the rest of the group begins to catch up. Minka, are you doing anything at this point? You've been pretty quiet.
Yeah, no, I think Minka's just kind of been like looking around with a bright light and then just thinking to herself, you really should have had better talk with Ori about not going ahead alone. We've touched on this before, but and just kind of like really kind of lost in thought on that front. Okay. And then seeing everyone start to move, snapped out probably by the clanking. She's like, oh, and she's probably picking up the rear.
So really, Valis, the emotional core of the group. Clanks.
Oh yeah, we need to feel something. Okay.
You all make your way down, or you are joined by the rest of your companions. The rest of you, with Belgram, arrive at the bottom, and you can see on the right-hand side of this kind of slightly curved wall face, this collapsed-in tunnel that Belgram is like pulling little chunks of stone away and trying to see if he can like see through it. And then you can see Ori peering through just this roughly 10-foot wide hole in the doorway, like the whole door just shredded inwards.
Seeing everyone coming down, I'm gonna like be like, good, and I'm gonna look over at Valis and be like, not as good. And then cautiously make my way through this hole to like go into this room enough to see what else is here besides the trail of names.
Hey, Ori, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but are there any traps in there?
That's what I'm gonna go check. I want to
Should
make
we
sure
start-
that it's not trapped before everyone comes in.
Moving rocks?
Well, hold on. Let him check for traps.
All right, I'm gonna go
Make an investigation check.
Can I use my eye for detail?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's for. For you, as you look at this like collapsed in pile of rocks, and you mention that, Beldgrim turns to you and kind of looks at you, and you don't speak Undercommon, correct? So you understand. Yeah. How long is Tongues up for? Is it dropped?
It's an
It
hour,
was
right?
Or sorry, comprehend languages.
comprehend language. It's an hour, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you still probably have 30 minutes of it. Then.
Oh, damn.
So the two of you understand as he just turns and just says, "I don't think you can get through it." And you hear something completely different.
I don't think I understand what it is that we can't get through.
So there at one point was like a mined passage that looks like probably where the Durgar broke through. That has collapsed inwards. And then on the other side of it, the door that is meant to be like progress onwards.
Busted through.
And that has been like, it's a door that was just like bars. And those bars have all been broken and twisted inwards to create like a big, roughly like 10-foot wide hole.
Gotcha. I'll ask Beldrum. So I'm guessing that's where you came from, and I'll point to the cave in.
He kind of nods and just says, "Yeah, we mined through there. And so I'm not sure how we're going to get back."
Was that there when you were last here? And I'll point to the door that's been busted through with shredded metal and all that.
You can see he takes out like this war hammer and he just taps this like torn bit of metal and he says, "Yeah, but whatever made that, I'm not really keen on following."
Can I look at like the shape of the way the gate is busted and see, is there any like creature I can think of that might have been able to do such a thing?
Make a nature check.
Got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Looking for traps.
Okay.
It's not cocked, it's just a 6.
So you, so hard to tell. A lot of different creatures could. Like the first thing that you think of is rhinoceros, and you're like, no, we're underground. But it's one of those things where now it's the only thing that you could think about.
It's a total of 10 for the record, but,
Yeah. Okay.
but I gotcha.
Maybe also an elephant. Hard to tell. Ori, as you peer in, there are no traps in the destroyed door that you can see. And looking into this like roughly 20 by 20 space, it looks like there are the two walls that have these doors. There is the wall that you are walking through that has this kind of broken iron door. And then there is a blank wall. It's a flat, mostly masonry wall. And that stands out to you. With the 20, hard to tell exactly why.
Is that to the west?
Correct. I will say with that check also, you do tell that there are locks on both of these doors, and so you would need to in some way manipulate those, probably to open them. You could, of course, just try them, or perhaps, this is a wild idea, if you had keys, those might also serve to open these locks. And then you can, as you get closer and you look in, you can see that there is a sign above the door to the east as well. And this one reads the Hall of Thieves. And through the bars, you can see that there are portraits hung up all along this wall, many of them ruined, but you do see a few figures in there. From this distance, you can't really make out details, but a lot of paintings.
Okay. Can I check out this wall that's suspicious further without going more in?
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless there's a way, like, are you gonna, like, get a bunch of glass prisms and, like, tape them together and, like, what do you...
There's something off about this wall. I'm gonna check it out. But it might be a trap, so...
Touch it.
Can I look at the wall?
No, I'm going in the room.
So you can,
Cautiously
as
going
Ori
in the room.
clears the way by entering, make a perception check. And then you step into the room.
Cautiously.
Cautiously, with great caution.
Natural 1.
Natural 1.
Total 4.
Okay. You do see something very dangerous. Yeah. Ori is unattended in a room. And so he steps in, and Ori, you hear this as your foot hits this little bit of rubble and pebble that kind of scrapes along the stone. You just kind of kick it out from under your foot, and you enter the room. There are 2 doors, one on the east and one on the south, and now one behind you to the north, these broken bars. What are you doing in there? You can get closer to the wall.
Yeah, what's going on with this wall? Why is it? What's so weird about it?
Make an investigation check at advantage.
I think at this point, Minka would come into like past the broken door to the bright light.
Okay.
Just to cast a little bit more light. And like,
Ooh,
Actually, that was while he
21.
does that.
Okay.
I was going to say, I have a feeling that this cave-in was intentional, and that, as I said earlier, I don't think the mistress of this place intended for you and your party to leave.
Yeah, I haven't seen this individual, but they're pretty fucking creepy.
Agreed.
Ori, for you with a 21, as you get close, this wall, there is something about it that is not necessarily solid. Like, if you get up close, you're not quite sure. You don't touch it yet unless you want to, but you're pretty sure it's stone. Looking around the edges of it, it's like there's a seam along the entire thing.
Like it's been closed off, like a previous entrance has been paved up.
More like this is designed to move.
Looking for anything that seems like, press it or something and it's going to open.
With a
Any sort of,
21,
special,
you don't see any buttons, you don't see any pressure panels, you don't see any little strings.
no like slightly off color stones or anything.
I mean, they're all natural mason stones, and so like all are slightly. You see eggshell, you see but nothing obvious.
Hey, Rez.
Yeah,
Want that chocolate?
I mean, fuck yeah.
Something about this wall, you see it? I'm going to kind of indicate the rim of.
Yeah, it's a wall.
No, like there's something. It's
Okay, I want the chocolate. What do you want me to do?
Start pressing around on the wall. See if there's
All of
any
you
sort
suddenly just hear flap, 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 flap. These tiny little hands just slapping stone, and you just hear slap, 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 slap. And he goes, "Am I doing it?"
It's just, no, just
Slap, 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 slap.
you gotta
slap,
find. It's like a hidden button or something.
slap. He flies back to the other side. Slap, slap, slap. So almost like a typewriter now, just slapping the stones down. And he's beginning to get out of breath. He comes back. He's like halfway through at this point, and he's like, "I really don't think this is doing anything." And he just slap, 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 slap. And then right back. But I really want the chocolate. Slap, 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 slap.
I'm guessing I hear that. Right?
Everybody hears
I
this.
want to just say to the party, why do we send those 2 ahead again? Was it for stealth?
I said Rez to keep an eye out. You know what? It's fine. Why?
Is everyone else like within earshot?
Oh yes.
I'm just letting Rez do it because I want him to have his chocolate, but like, not happy about this.
Billy kind of
We're
like
gonna have words.
steps over the rubble and like into the area with Rez and Ori.
Stop it.
You step in.
Just.
I kind of want to look at the painting.
He stops when you ask him to stop, and he goes, "Wow, I was doing what you told me to do."
No, you gotta do it with a little more finesse, where like you're not just slapping stones, you're looking for something that's gonna open this secret passage.
Billy looks around for anything magical.
Okay, make a Arcana check. You say that, and they turn, and they look, and they go, "I don't think this is a secret passage. It's a wall."
Have you like come into the room at this point?
It's 22.
There's
22.
something off about this wall. Can you just
Not a goddamn thing.
I was gonna say, Alina is staring daggers at you until
out a
she
piece
sees
of
you
the
reach for the
chocolate.
chocolate, and then she's like,
Breaking off half of one, and now have, I believe, 2.5 left.
That sounds right. 2.5 or 3.
And I'm gonna give him half of the piece.
Okay. Before you can even like get it out of your fingers, you feel like when a
I'm
cat
gonna
has a treat.
like kind of toss it up because I know that it's coming
Even with it
for
in your hands, you feel like the sides of the teeth kind of brush against and like the slobber on your hands as it just. Oh, you are my best friend right now.
Billy just pokes the wall.
You poke it, and it sure
feels
is
like a wall?
Yeah.
There's
gotta
it's
go
just a
walk.
fucking wall.
No, there's something off about it. It's definitely like there's like a hallway or something behind.
Just did.
Did you not hear? He was just touching all of it.
Alina's
Or
gonna
is the
kick the
room
wall
for your trap?
experimentally.
You kick
As
the
far
wall.
as I can
and
tell.
it doesn't hurt your hoof because it's a hoof, but
Yeah.
it kind of, and it seems pretty sturdy.
Seems pretty
At
sturdy.
this point, I think Minka's gonna look around the room and see if there's anything on the wall that would stop the wall from advancing. Because at this point, she's like, okay, the other trap was a squish trap, I think. So maybe this is a big squish trap.
Make a investigation check.
I'm so good at investigation. I'm sure this is going to be great.
I'm like tracing along the edge that I've seen.
Okay.
Trying to
And with your 21, you definitely feel that there is an edge. Like this is all one kind of piece of something, but still really hard to tell. It doesn't move. You see Alina kick it, still doesn't move.
22.
With a 22, there is nothing to stop this wall. Markedly so. You saw that little pebble, about the biggest thing in this room. There is no other levers. In fact, there is nothing to pull the doors. These have to be push doors, and the locks are flush with the door itself. And so maybe there's something to that.
Guys, maybe we shouldn't be in this room until we know how to make the wall not crush us.
Are there any scratches along the
I'm
floors?
sorry, what?
Squishy.
Going down, it doesn't seem like it.
Billy books it out of the room. It's like, nope.
Billy kind of shoves
Is
past
the
you.
floor like
Whoa.
super flat?
Very flat.
I'm gonna look up as I'm backing out of the range of this scene.
Okay. You look up and back out. There's some stones above you.
But okay, so it's not the ceiling that looks like it's crushy. It's this.
The ceiling looks almost to be natural stone, and so almost the most stable part
So
of the
it's
room.
like this wall piston door on. Okay.
As Alina is leaving with Rez, she's gonna say to Minka, wow, good catch. I don't know why we let that go on for so long.
Where were the seams on the wall? Were they around the edges, or were they like?
It was like a doorway, right?
So yeah, if you think about this room as a box or a cube, it's like in the seams between that one facet and then the facets touching it.
See, I'm just.
Oh, so
Oh, I
it's
see. So
whole
the
wall.
entire wall.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it
seams.
was like a doorway
No.
on the
The
wall.
whole wall.
No, as I'm hearing Joe describe this, my brain is just
Okay,
like,
that makes much more sense.
20 by 20 room.
being, yeah, that makes much
Not
more
sponsored.
sense as being
There's a little green herb on the floor.
yeah.
bad
You
time
gotta put a
trap.
statue, the whole thing.
Okay.
There's a typewriter in the
So-
far room.
Do we think it'll be like so we need to figure out how to like trigger this trap so that
Well, it's probably something to do with the two locks, right?
I'll
Well-
peek through, and I see to the left, and it says like Hall of Thieves, right?
Mhm.
Perhaps it's their way of dealing with thieves.
And then they put the smashed up face pictures in there.
You hear out loud, "Oh, we're in a dungeon." So, like, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
it tracks. Maybe your unseen servant?
All right. Well,
Okay, well, okay, so one,
I mean, you don't have to. Just
Flute
throwing
music
shit
begins
at
to
the wall
play,
right now.
and it does echo these narrower stone chambers that have higher ceilings. So, again, though the clink of Valis's plate mail has died down, there's a new sound to fill that space.
get a better look at
But
what.
no problem. You begin to cast Unseen Servant.
10 minutes of flute music, guys.
so
by the way, we've got 2 wheels and 2 woes. Just
Yes.
pile enough.
Oh yeah.
Before we do anything, can we just take a look to see if we recognize any of the faces on the portraits?
So,
in there?
if you get all the way into the room and you peer through, make a perception check. Or actually, I would say you can see fine. Make a history check. There are a handful that are not completely ruined. Many have been slashed.
Plaques underneath them.
There are.
18.
18. Okay. So you see, as you get closer, you can only see a part of this hallway. It looks like it turns to the left. But it is, at one point, was lined with portraits. There's a few that are still up, but mostly on the wall you see little rust points where iron pegs at one point had probably held them. And then along the bottom of the wall you see like broken frames and elements of canvas that have just kind of become these like stiff piles over time. There are a few that have slashed, a few that have fallen. You, with an 18, You see a number of people, 3 actually, that are intact and in your visual range, and all of them are bearing a symbol. Make a religion check. You notice that each one of these has this symbol, and in the painting it looks like maybe scarred or branded.
9.
That probably hurt.
Can I?
You see,
It's in all the pictures, right?
in every portrait. So the first one that you see is a human with like rugged and shoddy hair that falls over their near black, intense eyes. It looks like they do have actually burn marks on their face, but very distinct. You see what looks like a crescent moon over a crashing wave. And that to you feels like symbology, but no idea for who. You can see they look very grim, and this mark, unlike the other burns, like dark, and it stands out very clearly. You can see it in the others as well. You see a lithe female elf, straight kind of silvery hair, a lot of volume with these like red ribbons woven in. Her eyes are this gold color that even in the darkness, even with the soot and the ashes and like the dirt, you can still see this like enchanting gold. She has nails and lips that match the color of these ribbons, and she has this mark square on her forehead. And then the third figure that you see is an older elf who is balding, and they have like a long hair that has, they're balding on the top, but the long hair still falls down behind, and those are braided with little elements of different valuable looking stones. Their tunic is lowered on their shoulders that look like these puncture wounds come through from the back, although now healed over, and the mark is very large and central on their chest. And those are the 3 that you can see from here. The rest relatively ruined.
Does anyone recognize this mark? I think I see it on all the paintings that are still up. I'll point to the crescent moon.
Look, we're all gonna look.
Check.
So are we going back into the room?
What is it?
now?
History?
History or religion?
So you guys are in this room, and you guys are like looking through the barred door that's locked. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask Rez to look as well?
Yeah, sure.
No fucking clue.
We're making history checks.
6.
You, yeah.
Can I
Anybody-
make
If you look.
my thing?
No.
Rez gets a 10. But Alina gets a 16.
Okay.
18.
Okay. I mean, I would say for you, Cheshire, you recognize those individuals. For you, you probably recognize, I would say, you, even with your role, just based on where you're from, probably don't recognize any of these individuals. You see them for sure.
Can I read any of the names underneath? Looking closer at these now.
Yeah, sure. So you can see under the human with rugged and shoddy hair, and you see this too, Valis, and actually Cheshire, you could read the names.
And these are in the Trail of Names, not the Trail of Thieves, right?
No, these are the
these are
thieves'
the
portraits, and there's
Okay,
little
these
names
are the
underneath.
thieves' portraits. Okay.
The human with rugged and shoddy hair is Ularic Wintersat. The female elf with straight silvery hair is... Why do I do this to myself? Savilsa Yassarn. Spelled exactly like it sounds. And then the older elf is named Craven Shadekinder. Or
Craven Shadekinder?
Yeah.
Which way did we come from here? Wait, are these paintings inside past this?
Craven spelled like Craven, and
past these,
Shadekinder
like,
spelled
these
like
are all, like,
Shadekinder.
Thank you.
Locked doors.
This looks
like
Oh,
this one.
so we can
Here
see
when you
through
read.
them.
Yeah.
How? You said this room is about 20 feet wide?
The room that you are currently in is 20 by 20 feet.
Okay.
What was the last name?
Which one?
Shadekinder.
Shadekinder.
Craven Shadekinder.
The easiest one of them all.
Yassarn is just Y''SAR. Wintersat, just winter and sat.
Having absolutely no idea what's going on down the thieves hallway, she's gonna look down the trail of names hallway because it's also a barred door.
Yeah.
Look through.
So for this one, there are a tremendous number of names. And give me just 1 second. Let me go down there to my part of the notes that is that. So this is a huge hallway. And looking here, the ceiling rises up and up enough to where a massive wooden beam goes all the way down, unbroken. This must have been a huge tree at one point to produce this. There are carved stone blocks that rise up, and each one has names carved into it. Many faded with age, but you can probably make a perception check. Dust has settled into many of them, but there are a few legible ones.
That's not terrible. And 18.
So literally hundreds of names. You see, like, I mean, I have hundreds of names here.
Yeah.
Is there anything in
had to read them
particular?
out.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking for in terms of trends or like?
I'm mostly looking to see if I can either get a sense of like, is there like a theming around the potential like race or origin of the people, and does it seem like this is more of a memorial or
How much time
more
have you
of
spent
like,
around dwarves?
probably not a ton.
Okay. So I would say you do recognize there's only like a handful of individuals who have last names listed. Almost everybody else is a first name. Names like Esk, Don Haddad, K. Weiss, Lasnus, Dunliam, Kumar, John, Gadrel the Abandoner. There's just all kinds of things in here. And so hard to really tell like what race. I mean, John seems pretty human.
Yeah.
But aside from that, pretty tough to tell.
Pretty mixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
John's definitely a troll.
All right. This room looks like it's maybe like a memorial or something, or some kind of ledger. Just a lot of names.
What is the distance of your dark vision?
I think 60 feet.
60 feet. So you actually cannot see all the way down to the end of this hall.
When does Billy finish her casting?
You're about 7 minutes in. This is all happening like right at the same
All
time.
right.
So the fact that the previous barred door has been burst through, but then neither of these have been burst through as well, leads me to believe that the people who came through here had some way of going through one of these doors or got crushed. Is there any indication, looking at either of these locked doors, that they've been like relocked or tampered with in some way?
With the checks that you've made, well, so to really find out if they've been tampered with, you need to actually manipulate the locks.
I'm gonna look around and be like, so which way do we want to go?
I think we're waiting for Billy to finish her.
And then there's just a
Nice
real
song.
sick jazz solo, and
Yeah.
then dust is displaced. Unseen servant.
Just be patient.
Well, we should leave the room then.
I thought we already left the
We have
room.
left the scary spooky.
No, we're looking in the bars still.
Ori says that when we're all out of the room, he's the one in there.
We're looking in the bars, right?
Come on. Just,
Billy high-footed it out.
And then we went back in to investigate.
Billy
At this point,
high-footed
you
it
guys
out.
are recrossing
Yeah.
the exit of the room.
Yeah,
It was really just
I
you and
agree.
Minka.
I
All right,
leave the
we're
room.
exiting the room.
Okay. So you and Minka join everybody else outside of the room, and the unseen servant
Oh, I get smushed.
Goes through? Like,
she just hovers over the stones, over that little rock that Ori had stepped on, and they're in the room.
so, like, do you want it to go all the way through? You
Have it go jiggle the locks or something.
yeah, jiggle the locks. We're trying
See.
to figure out what triggers the trap.
Or
try to open the door handle.
Okay. There is no door handle. Very flat are these doors. There's
Push
just a
on
place
the
for
door.
the key to go. The unseen servant goes up, and I think we discussed before it's a strength of 1, correct? So it pushes real hard. It doesn't seem to do
dies.
much.
Ori, do your keys match any of the names
How,
here?
maybe it's a pole door.
Any of the keys?
It's too late now.
Didn't you?
Oh. Was the door's pull or push?
I'm gonna like go for
When we can.
Because there's no handle or bar to pull on, it almost has to be a push, unless they're designed to be opened through another means, or perhaps from the other side. But
check the keys.
Huh?
Check the keys.
you pull out the keys. There's no names on the keys.
Here,
I guess.
let me do it.
Well, you gonna unlock it?
Alice, you valiant soul.
I think I'll be okay if the trap springs.
How fast are you?
He's
How fast
explodable.
Yeah, I think I'm
I can teleport a little bit.
Oh,
You, I believe you've seen me done it.
that's a good point.
We have done seen you do it.
Why don't I'll
Was it
come
like-
help you see
wasn't it-
if we can figure out which one
So
was
Ori
the
was
right
like
one,
backflipping.
and then I'll get out,
Right?
He did back.
and then you can try to
Okay.
unlock it.
Sounds good.
So behind you guys, like in this space, you can hear the Duergar says, and really it's just the two of you. Actually, no. So this your tongue spell has died at this point, and you're daylight spell, I believe, is at the end of its life now as well.
Fizzle out, yeah.
So that kind of begins to like spark and fizzle. But for you, you can hear the Duragar who just says, "So respectfully, everyone." And he's begun to like adjust everybody every time, even though you're the only one that can understand, because it seems like other people can kind of understand. Addressing everybody, they just say, "Respectfully, I don't know what's down there, and it doesn't seem good. So I'll wait here. Maybe there's a way you can open this from the other side."
What do you say?
I translate. I'll tell him none of them speak on the common. I will continue to translate for you.
Oh. You can see he just like looks at Alina, but just says, "Okay."
Oh, it was a. It's fine.
They wave at you.
Which key matches? Well, which way are we going? Trail of Thieves, Trail of Names.
I'm indifferent.
We couldn't see the end of the room, right? And, well, okay, hear me out. So, like, if you have a bunch of portraits, that takes time and practice, and, like, someone paid for that, or something, right? People just don't paint people for funsies. Or I guess they could. The point I was trying to make was maybe one is a memorial, maybe, and the other one is like an honor or warning. I don't know. Like, is there like, if we're gonna go find a throw in a blood,
Are the bars?
which one would be more likely to go there? The memorial or
Thieves.
Thieves? Probably thieves, right?
I don't.
100%
Actually, we
thieves.
must go the other way.
Names can't be a memorial in a dungeon. No one memorializes criminals in a dungeon.
While we're figuring this out, I'm gonna look at the key ring and see, looking at both of the keys, if there's any sort of match to.
Make an intelligence check.
Can you remind me? What language was all of
Elvish.
the
These two doors
Elvish?
Yeah.
are the ones that are flesh and
14.
Yeah, they're these
The
are-
14,
And then this wall.
on this key ring, there are 16 keys. 6 of them would probably fit into these doors.
Are they labeled?
No.
Alright. These 6 seem to work, but I don't know which. So that's like, there's almost like a 15 or so % chance of success.
That sounds right.
Minor
I don't know.
illusions in his ear.
Math was never my
Your
strong
sacrifice will be a noble one.
suit. So, you sure you want to do this thing?
Do you have another idea?
Would it be easier? Would I have a higher chance of successfully picking these locks
Can
than
Rez
I
fit through the
would
bars?
looking at them? Are they like complicated locks?
Yeah, you're in a jail, and so likely these are designed to be pretty tamper-proof.
Alright, yeah, so I think...
I might have a different idea. You think Rez can fit through these bars?
Can Rez... That was why I was asking, can Rez fit through the bars?
Not in his imp state, no.
Hey, Rez.
Yeah.
Can you turn into a rat again?
Oh yeah, watch this.
Okay.
He's invisible, but you would imagine he's a rat.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna pick him up. Can I get a sense of how big he is?
He's just a fat rat, like a very, very obese rat.
I'm gonna experimentally be like, how squishy are you?
Like
You think?
almost like it's like, you know, the dice that Kara has, like almost like there's no bones. You can just
Okay.
really push in.
You
Yeah.
think you can fit through those bars, buddy?
I mean, yeah. What for? What reason though?
Great question. What's the plan?
We need to find the throne, right?
We gotta...
That's the goal?
I think... So,
Alright.
my inclination is to go down the Trail of Names, but my curiosity is taking me towards the Trail of Thieves.
No strings, right, treasure?
So...
Nonsense, the back door.
Dang.
Trail of Thieves, about 16%. Good luck.
Are these also the 6 keys that will fit into the other door as well?
Between these 6 keys, 2 of them open these 2 doors.
Okay.
So actually, I guess that's changes.
We don't need to do the math.
No, let him cook.
Okay.
Okay, so
Could
this
be
is,
asleep right now.
Well, I guess it depends on which door you start with.
let's vote. Which way should we go? Names.
Names as well.
Names?
Continue
Names. Oh,
straight.
okay. Alright. leave the room, I will hopefully see you again. Yoink.
You take the
Also, a
keys.
more direct eye line that might be used to teleport, right?
So these three are going to the Hall of Names,
I
or
don't know
going
how
to the
stealth
Hall of
works.
Thieves? Is that what's up?
No, I think he's just gonna try to unlock a door and we're gonna see what happens.
How about Rez go through and just see what happens?
Hey,
Can
go through
those
the other one.
unlock doors?
Is everyone out of the room? That out of the death.
The swisher.
I believe so, yeah.
All right.
Helena's absent-mindedly
Can I be
petting the
kind of
invisible
standing
rat
at
on her
the
shoulder.
edge to like keep an eye on it so that if it starts to move, I can be like, "Get the fuck out of there!"
Yeah, okay,
Give
so
them
you,
like a little bit of a, like eyeing it so that as soon as it starts to move,
so you're helping from 20 feet away?
yeah,
Okay. To the best of your ability, you're trying.
yeah, like if he's focused on the lock and it starts to go, I don't know.
Billy's just
I don't
absent-mindedly
want
like.
Valis to get
You'll
Cleaning
be
smushed.
the
herself.
most traumatized if Velis gets
Just,
smushed.
I just don't
Alright.
want. I don't want.
So you have 3
my
keys.
friend to get smushed.
Or sorry, you have 6 keys.
Okay. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, that changes.
It was very close to being 3, but yeah, 6
Damn.
keys.
I'm a little too dumb. Sorry.
Do all the keys look the same?
Make an investigation check.
Yeah, you can narrow it down from those.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm not 6.
You're dumber than I am.
You look at the key ring and you're like, you're not sure that Ori got all the possibilities. There's at least 3 or 4 more that probably could fit.
Oh shit!
And so now you're not sure if it's 6 keys or 11,
All right,
but
I will go with.
it's at least not 24.
Ah. Hmm.
Why didn't we give the key ring to the unseen servant?
You told me to have it jiggle the handle.
I know.
Are the 6 keys next to each other?
Can we do one thing?
3 of them are.
Okay.
It's a Macy's.
All right. So I'm gonna take one of the keys and I'm gonna hold the other 5,
Okay.
just so that I know which ones I haven't tested. So kind of like, I'm just gonna take the key, put it in, turn, and try to push the door and go through.
Love that. Roll a d6.
This is the Hall of Names door, right? Or not?
1. That's good, right?
Something of.
You take this key in your hand. You're not sure if it's the right one. They all feel the same. You go through a period where you're like, okay, this one, maybe not. You put that in your hand. You take the other one. Oh, it's exactly the same. You look at them. You like hold them flat. They're all perfectly flat. They all have the same number of teeth, it looks like. Excuse me. The variations are very small. So you just pick one. And you put it into this lock. And as you turn it, there is just a click. And the door open.
I go through.
I'm gonna like run over to Valis and be like, "Good job, yeah."
That, this is the hard part about preparing and why I over prepare, because it's like, yeah, there could be like a whole thing that happens here, or they could just fucking guess. And
Fucking.
this happened too. There's
Time
another
we needed
time.
to open a lock and the code was open.
Okay, anyways.
All right.
So this is the names one, Hall of Names.
Trail of names.
Trail of names.
I need to take a deep breath. I'm a little bit sad right now. You mind going ahead and checking for traps?
Yeah, which one was the right one?
I'll take it out and I will.
Okay, yeah. You slide it off the key ring and you can take that one out.
Okay. You want to mark
alright,
it
and then,
somehow?
Yeah, I'm gonna mark the other 5 so that if we go back to the thieves, we can narrow it down to the last 5.
How are you marking them?
I think I have.
Mark them with poison. Just poison the keys.
I think I have charcoal in one of my kits, and I would just dot it with some of the charcoal.
Okay, no problem. You dot it with charcoal.
Cool.
For the rest of you, you can see Valis and Ori step beyond this threshold and into this hall. Ori begins to look around. Make an investigation check if you're looking for traps.
Always. It's like a 17, I think. Hold
At
on,
least I didn't have to like
somewhere around there.
clean any.
Yeah, 17.
With a 17, you look around, looking down, looking at the edges of the stone where you've seen these seams. You don't see anything. You don't find anything. You're not super confident. A 17 isn't super high for you. But as far as you can tell, no traps. You do see all these names, and something that does stand out to you, especially because in the Magiocracy, names are so important. None of these individuals have last names, with a few exceptions. Make a history check at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. It was a 1 and a 3. +2, so natty 1, so 3. Natty 1.
You've heard that in the Feywild there is a species of creature that resemble like humanoid rabbits. And it just occurs to you these might all be names of Herringons, maybe, because they're pretty atypical. And so, you know, John the Herringon, Shimborn the Herringon, Murba the Herringon. So yeah, probably that. Anyways, that just kind of sticks in your mind for a little bit, but you don't find any traps.
Weird names. Alright. Should we just keep continuing forward? Everyone be on guard.
Is it good?
As good as I can tell.
I think it's gonna like
I'm gonna keep
run
Alina,
across the room.
for you with your 120 feet of dark vision, as you get there, this hallway extends about 80 feet down, and then you can see an additional 10 feet where it goes to the left. And so it becomes almost like a 90-degree turn. You can see that these names are on bricks all the way down to the very end. And so not just hundreds, but probably thousands. But much like Ori, you don't see any traps or anything like that.
Well, Alina's getting kind of bored, so she's just gonna walk forward.
There you go. You begin to walk, clop,
10
clop,
feet
clop.
behind.
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
just
clopping.
continue
Following along.
cautiously ahead.
You get closer. You get closer and you get closer. And for you, Alina, since you're leading the way, and because you have 120 feet of dark vision, you see this first, and you read Elvish, right?
Yeah.
There's a sign above the area. It kind of hangs down from a little protrusion of stone. And it reads in Elvish, "A misplaced foot will lead to death. There is no escape." It's a double-sided sign. You can read it from both sides. And that is right before this path goes to the left.
I go, wait. And I let everyone know what I saw. Wait, so the sign is double-sided, so someone approaching from the other side would see the same side and get the same
Correct.
message? Okay, I'm like, everybody stop. Everybody just stop. There's a sign there.
Is everybody
Says,
stopping?
please,
Yeah.
Okay.
will lead to death. There is no escape. But it's like double-sided, right? So like, I feel like we're getting real lucky here. Everyone just be cool. And then I'm going to, as an action, allow myself to fly. I'll be like, be right back. And then
Pronk through the air.
yeah, pronkety pronk. No misplaced feet here because I'm in the air, and I'm just gonna keep going down until I can do a little bit more recon.
There you go.
What goes to the left, you said?
The hallway itself goes, so from where you started, it goes 80 feet down, and then 10 feet further where then it goes to the left, and that is the beginning of that like 10-foot wide hallway.
This kind of, I feel like what the Sentinel said makes me not want to go left here. And the fact that it's on both sides. Is there some significance to this, what he said about going straight, continuing straight, and now we're going left, and then that's where it says a misplaced step. It's making me think about this.
Okay.
And at this juncture, looking straight, continuing straight there, is there anything notable about that part of the wall?
Make a perception check if you're going to do this from far away. If you want to get closer, like right up to it, you can make an investigation check using your eye for detail.
How far past the double-sided sign is
10 feet.
I'm gonna
back up,
wait
like-
for
Yeah.
Alina to finish, and then
Okay.
once we're like
Just
walking,
everyone be cool. Just
Yeah.
hold on.
70 feet hallway, double-sided sign, 10 feet hallway, then it turns to the left.
Correct.
Okay.
Alina, you down this corridor, and at the corner, you turn and you look, and you can see this narrows to that 10-foot wide kind of hallway, and then it switches back, goes 25 feet down, turns right. If you fly down and begin to look around the corner, 25 feet down, and then right. This seems to just be like back and forth and back and forth, and you don't know how far it goes. How far do you want to look?
So
down?
it's like snaking down, kind of like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the group and be like, there's lots of turns. I don't know how far ahead I want to go.
I'm gonna try.
Make a perception check, actually. Kind of like as you're about to turn around.
9.
A lot of turns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go straight and like check out this wall.
Make an investigation check, and you can use your eye for detail.
Does the wooden beam go all the way through this hallway?
Yes.
Does it keep going, or does it stop before the sign?
Continues.
Just straight?
And it bends with the hallway.
No, so that it continues straight, and then it just disappears into the stone, probably like anchored into the actual stone around the walls.
14.
With a 14, you get close, and this is, textured rock. There's masonry, and your fingers crumble like elements of it away, so it's old. You don't note any traps, but I mean, with the state of this place, kind of hard to tell what might have been
If
here.
I like push on it, does it give at all or anything, or is it just like this is a wall?
Seems to be a wall, but you thought that before, and you were wrong. So hard to tell.
Alina's gonna fly up next to Ori and be like, "What you looking at?" Can I do a check too?
Yeah, sure. Make an investigation check.
At this point, Nick's gonna point out the beam and be like, does this kind of keep going?
9 again.
Okay.
The beam?
It's a wall.
Do I know anything about the beam now that we're like
Can-
under it?
Billy just kind of like following the beam walk like forward in a path? Like along the path of the beam?
It goes into
Yeah.
the wall.
So the beam itself walks down like an 80-foot long hallway, and there's 10 feet that go further along this beam where it just kind of disappears into the stone. And so if you want to walk that 10 feet along that path, no problem. You go up and you get right to the wall right next to Ori, where Ori is currently just kind of like
Oh, that's where Ori is.
tapping it. And then Alina is floating next to him, just tapping it.
I don't think this is a thing.
You can make an investigation check if you want, but it seems pretty thoroughly investigated by your companions.
It's definitely not a thing. No, 4. It's not a thing.
It's a wall.
Do we just keep going? Like, the sign says a misplaced foot will lead to death, so...
The pathway is like 25 feet that way.
25 feet, and then you can see it turns to the right.
Billy's gonna just walk the 25 feet, peek around the corner, see if the beam continues down.
Okay. So you begin to walk down this place. As you step on these stone tiles, your foot touches what looks like just a mundane kind of element of stone, and then suddenly this glyph glows to life. Can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yo.
Just gotta get things done, peeps.
And
Sometimes
Ori
we
and
just get
Alina,
bored.
can you also make a Constitution saving throw, as this is a 15-foot...
Constitution.
Is this a magical effect?
It is, yeah.
Is it against being charmed?
It is not. What was that, Billy? Okay.
I'd imagine I am underneath the sign because I want to look at it. So I think.
Oh, then you
they-
will be in that range as well. You can
Aw,
go ahead and
man.
make a save.
18 for Alina.
Okay.
But if they're, I think that would give them +2.
Okay.
Aw, hell yeah.
7.
Dirty 20 for Alina.
22.
Does
And then
Rez
Val,
need
go ahead
to
and
make
make your
a
save.
Oh, is Rez still?
Constitution.
He's on my shoulder.
Yeah, Rez would as well.
21.
21, you are all set.
Rez gets a 10 plus the 2, so 12 for Rez.
12 for Rez.
How's Rez doing?
So, Rez and Billy, the two of you, suddenly as this pulse glows, you can see Rez, or you feel Rez like turn, look down and go, Alina, and there is a necrotic energy that washes out, and Billy, you take 3 points of necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum is reduced by that amount. In that brief flash of a time, and for Rez as well. And so Rez, how much health does Rez have?
10.
10, so rocking a max 7 right now. Rez just goes, oh man, it's sticky. And he just kind of like tries to brush it off. But for you, Billy, for just a moment, you see dozens of these glyphs on the floor. And you could almost swear, although hard to tell with the perception checks we've had, that they might be moving.
So about that wall.
Yeah, this one.
Oh boy.
Do you mention that you saw a glyph? Because I didn't see a glyph, right?
No.
Okay.
None of
What
us
just
saw the
happened?
glyph.
A misplaced step.
Well, I'm not dead yet, so that's good.
All right. Is there anything about any of these steps? It's just like you can't see anything to distinguish them from the
Make a
ones that
perception
aren't
check.
gonna cause,
None of us have really looked yet.
No.
cause death.
I would also like
He's
to
The
my
only
eye
person
for
who has gone down the hall
Alright.
flew.
Could I use my eye for detect?
Yeah,
And
sure.
stepped on the bad
Yes,
stone.
exactly.
Lori, I specifically asked you to check for traps. Have you
21.
checked for traps?
That's what you want. Okay, we'll get back there.
I do so now.
Perception, you said? 19.
19,
Too focused
21.
on that
You're right. It
wall.
was my fault. I didn't give you a timeline.
That straight wall was very.
So there is this
On me.
of explosive necrotic energy, and all of you, as it clears, like turn and for the first time really look down this hall. And some of you do catch the last little bits of like whoa, these little glyphs that for a moment just kind of shift and move across these stones. I would say with that, Ori, you also notice, or actually Alina and Ori, the two of you also notice here and there on the ceiling, there are little bits of stone that go down, such that there's probably seams in the ceiling in places as well. And then Ori, you notice as these little glyphs like die down and go back to their natural passive state, that there are a few places where you couldn't quite see the whole glyph, like there was some element of metal maybe creating a little seam. And so there are almost definitely pressure plates as well. And as like that all dies down, it was so quick, you swear you didn't get everything. But this is a pretty difficult place to go through.
All right.
So maybe we should go check out that Hall of Thieves.
Yeah.
I'm in.
They don't want us to go this way. It feels like we should go this way, but I don't know how to proceed forward. So
Well, if we wait until tomorrow, I could have a.
We don't have time to wait.
I know. I
Let's
just
try
I
it.
just
The
I
original
could
take out
do
some
it.
ball
There's maybe a
bearings.
spell I could do, but
Toss one,
that might help.
like you
but
know,
no guarantees.
We're pretty pressed for time.
Does Billy notice the ball
I
bearing
guess I could
toss?
Yeah.
toss it further out
Oh, whoa, whoa.
to see. Not so that it's outside of the range of any of us getting hit by something within like.
You take the ball bearing and you
30
throw it,
foot
and Billy, you're like,
radius.
whoa, 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 and it just tick, 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 and then it rolls end over end before it just kind of settles into a little seam. Probably doesn't
Not
weigh
enough,
as much as
yeah.
Billy.
Not enough.
Look, okay. I have a stupid idea. Currently flying, as you can see. It's awesome. Maybe I can just carry people down the hallway one by one. It's kind of a stupid idea, right? I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
take a while.
I mean, we could. Well, Cheshire, you know levitate, you know?
Do I?
Do you? I don't know. I thought maybe. Have you lifted something before?
I feel like I've seen you level tape things.
I have I can do it, but I can only do it one at a time. That might help if you're gonna pull people down the hallway.
Are there any handholds or anything along the walls?
Not like designed, like you don't see like little like
It's
rock
not like
climbing
rock
sticking
climbing
points.
thing, yeah.
But I mean, it is textured natural stone that has been cobbled together in masonry, and elements of the masonry is crumbling. And so, could you, in theory, like acrobatically using multiple checks to go down these 25-foot switchbacked things? Like, yes, there is a chance.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Of course, there's a chance. Yeah.
All right, just keep that one in my back pocket for now.
Keys.
So
oh yeah, he has them.
these are the 5 for up there.
Alright. I'm gonna try the other one.
Before we do that, I would like to revisit the idea of resting because
Walk it away.
Billy
I am
is
also-
not revisiting this idea. Billy, you just see the back of Billy's head.
Billy.
No.
We don't
fine.
have
I'll talk to the
time.
rest of you.
Oh.
So Billy walks away. What are you saying?
I am all out of magic, and I don't know. I know we're about to fight something really strong, and I know that we don't have time, but we also can't just rush into this fight without all at our best strength. I'm proposing that we find somewhere to rest, and it might provide us also an opportunity to help us, as you suggest, to get a different magic to get through.
Yeah.
This
I can only
feels
focus on
like
so
a
much
bad
at a time.
idea.
I don't remember if it was shared with all of you, but at the very least, Billy heard Sir Menti saying, kind of muttering to themselves up in the room above, and if they take too long, then he'll come too.
Yeah.
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 Remember that.
For what
from
it's
last
worth.
time.
Yeah. So I could lift 3 of us. But
Alright, well, let's.
How long can you fly
Some
for?
of us.
As you're currently in the air flying.
10 minutes.
Alright, well, so we should probably do it quickly if that's what we're gonna do.
That might be enough time to get us all through this. How far down does it go?
I don't know. I don't know. I went down a little bit and it just kept going back and forth and I didn't want to get stuck by myself. So
Did you see how far it went?
no, because the hall it keeps going back and forth. So there's no way to see how far it goes.
This makes me feel uneasy about what I've heard leading up to this.
maybe we should just go check the other hallway.
Okay.
I mean, Billy's already.
So, Billy, you have 5 keys that are marked with charcoal, and roughly 19 that are not. What would you like to do? It's not roughly, it's exactly.
Narrow it down more.
Billy had kind of like nodded at Cheshire to come along. Did Cheshire come along? Which one do you think fits?
Which one do I think fits?
Make a investigation check.
At advantage because I know locks.
No.
That's alright, that's still an 18.
An 18? There is differences to these. And it's hard to tell what means what because they're different. They're different weights. They're all the same material and probably made in the same process, but that gives you an idea. There's one that is like that has been used and is separate from the others, and you kind of feel the weight of that. And because these are similar doors, you probably want one that's pretty similar. With an 18, you can narrow it down to 2.
Hey, 50-50. That's an easy percentage.
You want to wait over there so you don't get smushed? Okay.
Skipping away already.
Here we go. Billy just chooses one.
Okay, roll a d4.
Why don't we just have Rez do this?
Because y'all want to go down the path with the lights that go
there.
boom.
Billy stalked away.
Actually, no, let's use the biggest.
She's so scary.
Okay. Reroll. Reroll.
One, 2, 4, 3, sir! Fuck yeah! You were so gonna get smushed.
A 3.
Yes.
It's a 50-50 shot.
Woo.
Damn it. All right. Well, all my research on mathematical patterns right out the window. You guys can just go ahead and just these keys. So you fucking check and choose your way through the doors. And because it's 8:30, so we're going to. So thank you for sticking with us so far for the session of Courts of Everest. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you so much for sticking with us through that very frustrating break. We have returned for our original D&D session where this party has brute force guessed their way through 2 doors. 24 potential combinations. So with that, the door swings open, and in front of you is this pathway. It's a hallway that you can kind of see relatively short, so like 10 feet wide. Then it goes around a corner and around again. And so, why do you look so guilty?
I mean, it was Val's.
You see these portraits, the same ones that you'd seen previously. There's a handful of others that are there as well, all of them bearing this kind of burn mark on them. Are you guys going through here? What do you want to do?
Do we know that this even worked? Sorry.
Yeah, because we're still.
Oh, sorry, right. This is just Billy and Cheshire.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anything? Did you shake?
Oh, did you hear that? Really?
Let's go check.
Hell yeah.
You guys walk back away from this hallway. You make your way across.
I want to stay in the hallway and take a look and examine the sign a little bit before joining the group.
Okay.
Yeah,
The double-sided sign.
I'm still like looking down and thinking about the sign too for a second.
Okay.
Until Valis leaves.
Okay. Valis, what are you trying to do or think of or consider here?
I think there's a way through, probably straight through, and I'm just trying to take a look at the surroundings and see if something else perhaps might open the way in front of us instead of having to walk down the
Make an
passage.
investigation check at disadvantage. This is because many people have made this check, including you.
Help him.
Make it flat. And this is you and Ori. This is like the buddy cop
Our final
movie.
musings before we leave. Okay, that is probably not going to be good enough. Let's see. Uh, 15.
You look, you touch the stones, nothing triggers as a trap, and that's good. But you don't find any way through.
Alright, I'll join the group.
Maybe just a wall. So you turn around, you join the group. You as well, Ori?
Yeah, I'm gonna like see that Valis is leaving and follow up behind.
Okay. So you all make your way back and join Billy and Cheshire, who have opened the other door.
Something still feels off.
Alina's gonna post for a high five.
Okay.
So
You hear this little, as the invisible Rez gives you a high five.
Thanks, buddy.
I won't leave you hanging. So, I forgot Dan was there, and then I heard Autumn, and then I saw Dan, and I was like, Autumn's tall. It really frightened me.
She grew
Woo!
up overnight.
Woo! Okay. Man, I went to like a nightmare land real fast there. Okay. Anyways, sorry. That really threw me. We were talking about, so Billy, you have opened the doorway. You can see these portraits in front of you. What are you all doing?
After you.
Yes, we'll just go.
Alright, can you check for traps ahead?
yeah, I'm still thinking like.
Can you do it
something
sooner
feels
than you
off
did last
about
time?
Going not this way.
Make an investigation check.
Let me know if you want me to turn the light back on.
Sure.
I'm still flying, so I'm just gonna like past
Yikes.
Ori to see what's around the corner.
21.
21.
Or sorry, 11.
11. Okay.
Wait, no, I rolled a d12.
You're going all over the place, my friend.
Guidance.
Sorry, I rolled a d12.
20. Oh, 11. Oh, 55.
Oh, that's even worse though, because that's 2 natty ones.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
So you look, and this is actually something that Matt does more than anybody else. 2 91s or 2 9020s. Ori, you look, and as far as you can tell, this is a totally safe hall. And so, like, Ori is looking ahead and kind of nods their head, and so you just pronk off into the air right past Ori.
I feel like I would be more focused on the portraits on the wall than actually looking for traps.
Absolutely.
I'll follow the pronker 10 feet
Okay.
behind.
So
Wait,
then,
I'm flying. Hold on.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The feet. Remember the feet.
The feet was the other room.
I know, but I'm scared.
Billy kind of looks at the portraits just to see if they all have that same crescent moon wave symbol.
they do. And Alina, you say, wait, you have this whole conversation with the feet, and then Valis, are you following?
She told me to wait.
Okay. Velos waits.
Just for a second.
Finally, somebody who listens in the party. You turn around and you snap. This little kind of wire just snaps right around. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
damn
And
it.
Ori, there is traps. Oh,
Is this a magical effect?
it is not.
Is she within
Am I
10
gonna
feet
get
of
hit
me?
by this trap? Like, do I hear this?
It doesn't seem like it's close enough to you
Okay,
to hit you.
cool. So I'm just.
Was she
looking
10
at
feet
these
in front of me?
portraits still.
Yeah, you're still 10 feet behind.
Do I
Oh,
hear
so
it?
2 more.
+2.
21.
Nice.
21. With the 21, you hear the sound of metal against stone, and so you back up instinctively right as these 2 paddle-shaped blades just right in front of you from either side. And you see these little light pieces of string just fall to the ground, and then the blade goes across, and you hear as they stick.
I'm gonna turn back, make eye contact with Ori, and be like, you said
Oh, so I was looking
This
at.
is why you send him.
So I was looking at the portrait.
you're right.
Sorry.
Billy looks where
Be careful, everybody.
Billy looks where the slicey things came down and checks the portraits nearest it.
Sure. So you can see many of the portraits here destroyed. The one closest to it is a human male, skinny, gone to the point where like malnourished. And actually, interestingly enough, so funny that Dan is here because this individual has alopecia. And so they look like emaciated bubs from our Starfinder. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Not a sponsor. Really, yes.
I mean, I guess it could be a sponsor then.
We can sponsor.
It's
it.
not
I
a
guess we could sponsor each other.
Do
I sponsor
have
you.
that mark as every other one does of that crescent moon over a crashing wave. And then there's more around the corner that you can see as well.
So the only difference is that he's gaunt and emaciated.
Yeah,
And you
I
have
mean,
alopecia.
you peer behind. There's 2 other portraits in this segment of the hall before it zags around again. You see a human with darker skin, and this it almost looks like a halo behind them of natural hair, gleaming face, cheekbones that are so sharp it looks like they could cut cheese. Very attractive grin, but don't recognize this one either. And then you see a small female halfling pictured with a dyed green mohawk that falls into this like long hair down the right side of her head, shorn very close on the left. And she has nose piercings, eyebrow piercings, same kind of burned mark on her cheek.
Minka's gonna check the paintings to see if she can tell if they are paintings, like just normal ass paintings, or if there's anything like hokey about them.
So you walk down the hall, putting your feet on the stones. Make an investigation check if you're looking for wonkiness, or an arcana check if you're looking for magical wonkiness.
Just regular wonky. Investigation, right?
Yep.
Once again, I continue to remember my alphabet.
That's good. That's a good trend.
Yeah. 21.
With a 21, there's been a lot of wonk in this place, but you actually don't see any relating to the portraits. The portraits are all named. These are all individuals of the same kind of mark. This seems to be more like a gallery or a record-keeping area or something like that. The portraits themselves don't appear to be trapped or magical.
Okay, so just like normal oil painting, essentially.
Yeah.
Are any of the further down ones recognizable?
So you see the same ones that Billy saw.
And the symbol isn't the same as the one for the jade wolf.
No.
Right.
Make a history check.
Billy takes out one of the candles from her bag and just chucks it forward.
Make tomahawk.
Kind of cracks in half, and now it's like the nunchuck candle, the wick holding it together.
21.
With a 21, you look at this mark, and this is actually a religious symbol to one of the elven gods, Tronway, the Tide of Atonement. They're often visualized as an elf with skin the color of sea foam. They symbolize atonement, redemption, and renewal. They are a favored god to jailers, amongst many others, who wish to unburden, and also those who wish to unburden themselves of past wrongs, and also captains who have lost good men. Their symbol is a moon over crashing waves. And so all of these individuals, now it kind of snaps into your head. You've heard of places where like people are branded as thieves, something very similar.
So these are all criminals who are repented? Or...
That's hard to tell.
Right.
But this is a very literal rogues gallery.
Yeah. Okay.
Delightful.
Yeah, so I guess continue cautiously down this hallway.
Yeah,
if
Liam's
this
gonna
is-
be like, don't run
this
into
is-
any traps.
These are all criminals.
I like to walk ahead looking for
Yes.
traps.
Make an investigation check, yeah. You've been like, all right, I've seen what Ori can do. I think I can probably handle that as well.
9.
So, you know, on brand. You find no traps. So you walk down. Is anybody doing anything, or are they just following Valis?
I'm still flying forward and keeping a careful eye out, in particular for like strings
Okay.
or whatever, you know.
Make an investigation check at advantage.
Hell yeah.
None of
A
these...
healthy 30-foot distance from the last person in line.
Okay.
I think
6
I'm
feet at
still
all
just
times.
Focused on, like, I'm looking at each of the portraits as
I'm
I
probably in between.
follow the
God,
flow.
So
That
Cheshire,
chunk
you wait for
and
the
the back
whole
chunk.
group to go around the corner before you then continue down the hallway.
Listening for screams.
No problem.
Any like
Or you pass names under most of these portraits. You already saw the rugged and shoddy hair, that's Ularic Winterset. You saw 2 other individuals. The really gaunt person, Ryathor Crendelian. You can see there's a human with that kind of like natural hair, the really sharp cheekbones, Sienna Zalstaff. You can see the human halfling is Beira Willowwinker. There is a sort of half elf in the portrait. Like it's almost like half of it is just blank. They're very short, this half elf. That is on stage Shirt, Shert. Probably a human last name. And then finally, you can see an individual who, like, cool toned skin, really small mouth, narrow, suspicious blue eyes. Linstrasalia Vesterholm. This is an elf. And they, though they do have this brand, they do look much more noble than the rest of this group.
Are the portraits repeating? Is that what I heard?
No, no. These are just the ones that are still, like, intact, visible, and readable.
Notably of a particular tower.
Not. I mean, you can't even tell if these are, you know, citizens of the Magiocracy. Really, you don't recognize any of these people. Make a history check. The rest of you walk around with a 5. You recognize not a person here. Yeah, just a bunch of assholes.
There's a bunch of schmucks on the wall here.
These guys got. So for the rest of you, you make your way down the hallway. Valis very confidently looking for traps. You make your way through the ruins of many portraits, and after this zigs and zags, just twice or 3 times, I believe, you end up. It's almost like a Z shape. This hallway. At the very end, there is a door, barred door, much like the one that was blown in, although this one intact. And you can see on the other side what looks like a narrow corridor with other doors that lead off of this. There's a sign above the first door that you can see almost directly across from the barred door. In Elvish, it reads Barricade Workshop. And there are marks along the wall here that look like divots and gouges. You're beginning to see signs of like damage, and I would say for some of you, certainly like signs of battle.
Well,
Does this door have like a keyhole on it like the others?
Billy pulls up the key ring. Who wants to go this time?
Maybe it's open.
Is it open?
This one is open, and perhaps the fact that there's no like destruction, you know, it hasn't been blown through, that was a good thing to think about. So yes, the door is open.
I got that one.
That was my turn. So you, if you want, the door opens up and you can see there is a hallway that is maybe 15 feet wide, probably about 25 to 30 feet long, and there are. I forgot, you guys got further than I thought, so I brought the whole map. There are 2 doors
That's
that
good
come off of
news.
this. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys just brute forced your way through 2 relatively
You keep
long.
saying that, but
No,
we
that was
rolled dice.
calculated.
Yeah.
You chose exactly the two things that you could have chosen out of
Just like
24
we planned.
possible things. It's truly insane. So directly across, you see this 10-foot wide bar door that leads to the barricade workshop. And getting a little bit closer as the door is now opened, you can see this room is just in a bad ways. This is a place where at one point, and you can see there's like several stacks or several cords of wood that have been stacked up on one side of the room. There are dozens of wooden spiked barricades and twisted thorn binds and pieces of sharpened stone. You can see just like corpses just lining up. They've tried to crawl across, and then others may be crawling across those. And then you can just see what looks like 3 individuals that have crowded behind that barrier. I would say at least a dozen, maybe even 2 dozen. They're skeletons. There is like almost mummified flesh that clings to the bones because this is a relatively dry place. But that's what you see through that barred door. And then looking down the hallway at the end, there is another set of bars that lead to a hallway beyond, and then another set of bars, and then a hallway beyond that goes into darkness.
Sorry. So we walked through the door that wasn't locked. We're in another hallway with lots of doors.
Yep.
And where do we see all the corpses?
Straight ahead, there's a doorway that is into this what's called the barricade workshop, and that is where you're seeing just corpses in the far end of the room.
Okay, and that door is at the end of this hallway, and there's a bunch of other doors on either side.
So if you enter through the doorway that you just opened, there's 10 feet before a doorway that goes into the barricade workshop right in front of you. If you turn to the right, the hallway extends 35 feet down to where another set of barred doors is, and then you can see the hall continues past there. For you, Alina, in particular, because your dark vision is 120 feet, there's another set of bar doors beyond that, about 60 feet away. And about 100 feet away, there is just a dead end. You think there might be a door off and to the right, which would be coming in somewhere that you haven't been yet, but hard to see. It just looks like a darker part along the wall from this perspective. You're pretty far away.
And there is nothing to the left, right? The left is just wall.
Dead end, as far as you can tell.
Feldgrim is still like way back.
Way, way back, yeah.
He was not courageous.
I mean, nobody tried to persuade him either.
Oh,
No
is
one
he
else could
way
talk
back
to him.
at like
Yeah.
At one point, he was like, "I'm going to stay here," and all of us were like, "Okay."
I don't blame you.
Sounds good, bro. Yeah, we would too.
Understand what he was saying.
Man, I wish I was an NPC.
Do we want Beldrum with us in case we fight something? He does.
Okay, well, let's think. Let's think for a second. We're looking for the throne. We have yet to see it.
I think we should be going the other way.
Does anything smell stinky to Rez? You said you could smell the hells or something?
I'm like, Rez, what you smelling?
I smell a lot of stuff, Alina. I don't know what just happened. Maybe the chocolate helped me out, but my sinuses are clear. All right, so there's a bunch of corpses. It smells like a long time ago there was maybe some kind of druidic magic or... No. There's something magic in that room, like a magical thing, you know? Some wood?
Wood?
Yeah, maybe like pine or maybe like a fir tree. I'm not quite sure. I'm not good at the individual species. But yeah, there's a lot of wood in there. And then down the hallway, there's something really bad smelling.
But like, what kind of bad smelling?
Not like a demon, but I don't know. You know, sometimes you get a smell right and it smells almost like round.
Yeah.
Or like people talk about things smelling or tasting sharp, right? But it doesn't make you bleed.
Sure, okay.
It smells blue.
Hold on 1 second, and Alina's gonna do the thing where she can perceive through Rez's senses.
Okay, so you
Sniff, sniff, sniff.
resistance. Make a perception check.
What
you don't get
TF is this guy talking about? God damn it! 11.
Is he still a rat?
You smell.
His rat formed. It doesn't have rat stats.
You smell, and you don't smell anything in particular that's off. But all of a sudden, it smells like a warmer day, and like you're outside, and it smells like the road. But it smells very distinctly like the road before you always had this smelly companion. It reminds you of a time where you were alone, and you can't help but feel a little sad.
Sad.
Okay. I like bamf back into I come back to my body and I'm like,
I'm not even talking about like the cheese. I don't even know if I'm talking about the color, but like, it's weird.
it smells blue. Well, we know that there's a sad man down here, right? Maybe
You feel him shift and kind of like look towards Ori. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna report this out as best I can and be like, I think maybe like we're near the sad man, right? They said the sad man was down below.
Would that track
Things smell kind of sad.
underneath where we were when it was supposed to be down below?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
This is below where you were before
Like-
you were below.
Right, but like directly below.
Hard to tell. I mean, you
We've
took that
gone
straight
pretty
ramp,
far, right? Yeah, like,
but after the ramp, you turned
We
almost
turned
due
left,
left,
yeah.
and so hard to tell.
yeah.
Did you say that Rez smells a magic
That was
item
pretty
in
far.
the barricade workshop?
He didn't seem super clear, but I would like to go check.
No, that's pretty much what I mean.
Okay, you said a magical thing and some wood, and you weren't quite sure.
Well,
what
they're not related, okay? The wood is separate. And look, I said magical thing. A thing is an item or an object.
Okay, that's fair. You did good.
Is this all mental?
Yeah, but as
think
usual,
it's
you can
always
see
mental.
Alina's
Yeah.
face changing.
It's
like
aggressively mental.
With, yeah.
Hey, Ori,
Yeah.
can you check the hallway for traps? Because
Because you're stellar at it, buddy.
Make an investigation check. You're
he's
great.
better than me.
I forget.
Guidance.
It's been helping.
Guidance.
Add that D4.
Guidance.
He's the one who rolled 2.
That's gonna be a 19.
Guidance can't help with that.
You step into the hallway. You look around. You get down close. You look for strings. You look for pressure plates. You look for seams in the walls. And for once, Ori, you feel a little bit more confident that there are no traps in this immediate hallway.
Cool. I continue further to the next.
Wait,
immediate
hold on.
hallway.
Just
Well, like, you know.
yeah, I want to see what's the magical thing in there.
The barricade room?
The barricade room.
Well, that's
look,
what
but we
I'm
should-
going into the barricade room.
No.
I'm having to
Maybe
check
I
the
still don't
hall-
understand the space that we're in.
You don't think they're like you don't think they're like corpses that'll
Let him go.
like come back?
I got it.
Not a sponsor. There is 10. So there's a 10-foot wide door.
Yeah.
10 feet of floor in front of you, and then another 10-foot wide door, and beyond that is the corpses, the barricades. If instead of going into that door, you turn right, there is a hallway that goes about 35 feet down to another set of bars. And Lena can see
that's where-
beyond that to like more hallway,
And
that's
the
where
way
that smell
the
seems to be
bad
coming
smell. Okay, I'm gonna go forward through to where the magic thing might be.
Okay.
Checking
Yeah.
there for traps.
Yeah.
So taking that same investigation check, you look down, looking at the door. You don't see anything attached to the door. There is a keyhole, and so probably a key that goes to it. But unlike the other one, you don't see anything that would really like trigger here. There's no piston-looking wall.
Just like
It's a lock and a door.
all right. Is it unlocked? Gonna give it a little jiggle.
This one's locked.
Okay. Hey, Billy, bring me the keys.
Oh, I have the keys.
Alina, bring me the keys. Gonna go through and figure out, given what I know about all the other keys so far, which key fits this here lock.
So you have 4 keys with charcoal,
Yeah.
and you have 19 that don't.
Yeah.
You have 2 that do and have been used, so you know it's not those.
Don't you have a lock picking set? Alina calls out.
Well, yeah, but if there's a key that actually fits and it's not.
Do you think something bad will happen if you use the wrong key?
Would something bad happen? There's nothing that's like
With the 19, you were just shy of being sure, but it doesn't feel like it.
All right, I guess I would just try to pick it if it was going to be faster than
Yeah, sure.
you know,
Make a
going
lockpick
through
check.
the 19 keys.
What
That
picking
Make a
Can
lockpick
I
check.
also, so while he's fiddling with the key, you said that this door is barred, right? So we can see through, we can see the bodies and stuff. All right, so telepathically to Rez, I'm gonna be like, go in there, see if you can find this magic item. If you find it, I want it.
All right. Just hits the
Invisible.
ground, and then just like, you're gonna have him go over into a rat form again?
Can he fit through as an imp?
No.
Okay, then
He's
yeah.
fat. Okay, so he into a rat, and then just kind of like you still hear him go, "Ugh," and just into the room, but he begins to move over, and you can kind of hear and feel that he is making his way through. In your mind, you hear him just go, "Oh man, this is pretty grisly." All right. I'm going in, and he just like you can see like elements begin to shift and move. He doesn't narrate the whole way like Petal did,
Oh, bummer.
but you know he's going in.
Oh, gross.
What was your roll?
10.
This lock is one of the hardest locks you've ever seen.
I'm taking the keys and I'm just gonna start going through all the keys. But I'm gonna like do it kind of like, you know.
You know,
Mark
there's
that
no-
key off.
Yeah,
as
I'm gonna
being used.
discreetly mark that one.
There you go.
And then be like, wow, that was a
18 to
tough.
go.
I got
So-
it, but that was a tough lock.
It was.
Took me
Make a deception check.
Perception check to see.
No, Ori is deceiving everybody right now.
Yes, I am, because that's a 21.
So you all watch as Ori definitely picks this lock. What were you asking?
Why'd you pick the lock if you had keys?
That's what I was saying. Was they were like, oh, why don't you just pick the lock? I said there was 19 keys. What could be? I'll just go through them.
Make an investigation check for Rez.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna use
But,
like a different die for this one. I want this magic item.
Potato.
Investigation for Rez. He's pretty smart at doing stuff. 19.
19. Okay. All right, Alina. A couple of things. First of all, I think I found it. All right, it's in this dude's hands.
Okay.
So, like with skeletal fingers and stuff. Something seems kind of weird about that, truthfully. Also, all these corpses on the barricades, they got the same symbol on their armor. Is that important?
Yeah, what's the symbol look like?
It's like a constellation, maybe. It's like a bunch of stars that make a shape.
Okay, Hannah doesn't remember, but is this reminding Alina of anything?
I mean, you're in a whole temple of constellations, so yeah.
Okay.
Nothing in particular.
Was it anything from like? Sorry, there was like an army that was in here with that one elf lady. Is it connected to that?
Make a history check.
History. It's 15 plus 1. 16.
No, this does not seem connected to the
Emerald Fang.
the Order of the Emerald Fang.
Okay, so all the bodies are wearing armor, and it all has the same constellation on it.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, noted. Good job. So this item that you found, what is it?
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's like a glowing, like it's a silver kind of like necklace pendant thing, and then it's got a gem in it, and it feels kind of chilly around it. And this guy's hands, this is the real important part about the guy's hands being around it. His arms are shattered and the bones are all kind of like spiky looking. So that's probably not great. Maybe Ori should get this one.
Is the door open at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell like where in the room Rez is?
I mean, as you like begin to look at him and you guys have that telepathic link, he just kind of goes, "Oh, I'm right here. Oh, do you want me to just not be invisible?"
No, that's okay. I want you to still be invisible. I just want to send my mage hand in to get the item.
Okay, so you put the mage hand in.
Do I see you doing this?
Does mage hand have?
Are you still flying?
Yeah, just like a couple inches off. the ground.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Just in case. Are we ready to lock this door again in case this room of stuff comes not dead. Just want to make sure we're
Can you
ready.
tell?
Huh?
Can you tell if they're really dead or not?
I mean, I've got
I'm out of
the
magic
key.
today.
I don't,
Right.
If a bunch of dead bodies come alive and start attacking us, I don't think that this door would necessarily prevent them from doing so for very long.
You
Dead
don't
things,
know
Right.
that?
dead things
Just
don't
generally speaking.
Okay,
Light,
so
though,
listen,
right?
guys. So there is a magic item in there, but I
Typically
think it might be
but
kind of dangerous.
it's
So
been
I just want to
weird lately.
do a mage hand.
I think that's a good idea. I just
Yeah.
want to make us
Alright, well,
let's
I've
lock
got-
the door if
yeah,
something
I've
bad
got-
happens.
I've got the key.
All right.
I mean, I'll unpick it.
Or -5 to your deception check. Everybody knows.
And I'm also, I'm gonna also be like, and all the so like Rez is there, but
Yeah.
may I call that? All the bodies have like armor with constellation on it. Y'all see that from in here?
Does it look like the wave over there, the moon over the wave?
I don't know. Does it?
No, it's like 6 stars connected.
The door is open, right? Can't we all just look in?
Yeah. What's the astrological sign that I'm looking at here?
Like a history check.
Cancer.
Sorry, the
I get
item.
my-
Did you say it was a
Did I take astrology
Yeah.
class?
No. There's no stars in Everest.
Oh,
There's
I
no
got a
reason to take
12,
astrology.
so I would have gotten like a C plus.
Yep, and that C plus leads you to believe that these are stars.
Yep, small stars. Well, this
So
is.
I'm gonna
anybody-
try to mage hand to get the pendant.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check at disadvantage as Rez can't. He's saying, "Yeah, right here, a little closer. Kind of cold, a little warmer."
Okay, can you just go? Okay, you can go visible. That's fine.
It takes a second because he is just a tiny rat in like a huge room full of broken barricades and corpses.
Yeah.
But after your eyes adjust a little bit, you see this little flicker of movement, and he's just waving his arms really just wildly. But you move over and you move the hand over. Made a sleight of hand check.
Just regular now.
I get sad as I think about Silver Pot.
So, 21.
21.
This fight
With the 21, you slip this mage hand through the almost bars of fingers that have become like a cage around it, and you just pluck it right out.
Nice.
Instantly, you can feel that this is a magical item, certainly, and it requires attunement, and it feels cold. But as you bring it over to you, this looks like a silver locket. Ornate around the edges, this kind of fine, sort of very thin edging. The gem that is set right into the middle of it, and there seems like at one point there was something that could close it, although it just hinges now, no door. There is just a glowing white gem, and it doesn't seem like a diamond. You're not quite sure what it is, but it feels pretty magical, and it feels pretty cold.
Can you lock this door?
It's not
I left
saloon,
it on.
right?
What was that?
It's not saloon, right?
Can we all look at it? Are you showing it to everyone, or are you?
It's right there. Oh, the locket, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll hold it up in the mage hand still. Just hold it up. Be like,
Magic locket.
"How you made this? It's pretty good, right?"
Nicely done.
What
I
the?
think it's gonna look at the constellation closer. Is it like the same one as saloons, or is it like a different?
No,
Order
Mika,
stores.
but you've been paying very close attention to the stars.
Yeah.
And this does seem like maybe make an intelligence check.
No. I think that's flat. No, it's +1. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Yeah, great. We've been doing all kinds of great stuff today. Give me 1 second. You couldn't forget this. When you had your dream and you closed your eyes and the stars exploded into the sky above you, this is one of the very first constellations that you saw. These were 6 of the brightest stars. And together you learn that their name in that sunken temple dedicated to the stars is the Eye of Emeralds. This is a constellation that at one point, presumably, hung above Everest. And it does vaguely look like an eye.
Oh. Well,
What are we looking at here? Is a nice locket.
well, I think this. I mean, it's not related to Sloon. I think it's the Eye of Emeralds, the constellation.
Was that something that the Emerald General Rasissa would have had? Is this was the body of the person wearing this?
Make
Can
a
I
history
look at
check
that?
at advantage as you look over at this body. This does seem a little bit differently dressed than the other ones.
So is the constellation on the locket as well?
No,
Okay, it's just on the armor.
just on the armor.
Got it.
17.
Mm-hmm.
With a 17, you head in and you can see that there are these individuals wearing this dark leather armor with the constellation symbol on it. The individuals who are all clustered in the end. There are 3 people. 2 of them are wearing what you saw as like the ceremonial prison armor, very ornate looking. There is one who is wearing leather armor, but then also what look very much like mage's robes. They were the one that was holding that. Their fingers, their hands, and everything just shattered, shards of bone. And they seem like they were a magic user of some kind, not a member of the Order of the Emerald Fang, probably not a member of this like prison group, although clearly as they are like, they look like they maybe died having a last stand here. Certainly not an enemy. Aside from that, hard to tell.
Some sort of mage. It's not from the Emerald Fang.
Meta question. In your world, can we spend an hour to like identify magic items?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an hour.
Should we move down the hallway? And I would like to reposit the idea of resting, because then we'll have a chance to.
I don't
We don't
think
have
we
time.
can rest. We can't.
Alright.
We can't.
Vincent's like, I just want my spells back.
Maybe we should have no magic. No magic. No resting for spells.
Alright.
Well, go until you die.
That's
Yep.
true. Ori has all of his spell slots.
I'm going to put my like cloak or whatever over my hand, and like the mage hand is gonna put it in my actual hand. But like,
Okay, no problem. It's in your hand.
am I good?
Yeah, I mean your hand's still attached.
Yeah.
Or can you check the rest of the hallway for traps? Did he do that already?
Yeah, if you check this hallway up
Oh,
up to
okay.
the bar doors that bar any further progress.
To the right.
correct.
It's down the sad times hall.
Wait. So we're going down the hallway, and I'm imagining
So it's
door here,
kind of,
door here, further down the hallway, door here, door here.
No, just one door, and then
kind of
15 feet, 20 feet beyond that door, there's another door in that same hallway. So it's almost like a little. And in that way, to you, Valis, is rather strange because there are 2 barred doors and just a 20-foot span of hallway with nothing in between. But there are 2 just locked barred doors.
Airlocks. Shitty airlocks.
And there's no.
Airlocks that are barred doors, yes.
Oh, so they're not going to the left or right. It's just
Straight.
It's just straight, but bar, 20 feet hallway, bar, door.
Yes. So you
I
guys
feel
have
like the
seen a
airlocks
bunch of
usually
this
are paths
stuff
when you're trying to like
already.
prevent them from going outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that horrible gate we have that does not prevent Bagel from getting out.
I think
It's
I
a
can
deep cut only for people who have been inside our house and met our dumb dog, Bagel.
Your
Bagels.
lovely dog.
She's a lovely dog. She's just.
This is the hallway that you're seeing, so there's just those 2 barred doors, maybe 20 feet apart.
And
I
at
see.
the end of that last hall is where the locket was. Which would
No.
be, I guess, or no, that's the one that's on the
The
to
other
the
side with
other side of
the
it.
barricade and all the
Yeah.
dead.
Do my best for you guys
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
As I approach the.
That's right
Barricade. Yeah.
here.
Right.
So you can see straight across.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Dope.
Yeah,
Cool.
Show on top.
Okay.
yeah.
So do we go this way, which I still think is only going to lead us, I would assume, to the sad one
Thanks, Dan.
at this point.
Dan donated bits. Live studio audio.
Thanks, Dan.
I mean, I feel like, you know, every time we come across one of these individuals who is like in the thrall of whoever this mean lady is, it gets us one step closer, right?
But
So,
The last one was guarding like a lever that helped us move forward.
Think of this as the side quest.
see,
Side to what?
The big door. The guy goes through the big door.
but this is someone who's enthralled by a
Didn't we go through the big door?
thing that is presumably forcing it into service. So whatever it's protecting, we're going to have to confront it. Whereas if we just continue on ahead, maybe we can help them and find out what they know.
Where are we gonna go, though? Isn't it kind of dead ends?
I mean, we could go down that hall.
The
The
hall.
hall that definitely wants to kill us and that we couldn't.
Well, usually good things are behind
We
things
have
that
to get the
people
key.
want.
Unlock the lock.
Got like
through the big
24
door.
keys here.
You mean like the one with the four
No, not,
logs?
yes, that one.
We already went through that one.
Did we?
What you mean? Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we went through that door.
We
So you got to the
Spoke to
place
the
where that like
dwarves.
really dangerous. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. You went through that door to get to here.
Yeah.
Alright.
You had gone and seen this like. Give me 1 second here. So you went through first the entry room, then you had begun your way down the Hall of Names. You got to the end, and then you found, in Alina's words, the hallway that wants to kill you.
Yeah.
And so you decided, you know what, this is probably not the best way. As you left, mostly following Billy, Ori and Valis looked at this blank part of that hallway and were like, this seems suspicious, but they couldn't figure out why. So everybody joined Billy, and you all made your way through the second door, which led you to the hallway of thieves. This is where you had all these portraits. At the end of that hallway, there is a door that you were able to open.
To the
Second here.
barracks and now this hallway
Of sadness.
of sadness. The
Hallway of
sadness
sadness.
hallway.
It smells
Through the
sad
thieves,
down here.
so through the thieves, there is just like a general corridor, and on the other
And
side is
then,
that
yeah.
barricade. Kind of. So you could still either go back and go down that long hallway of names
Right.
and try to go down that deadly hallway, or you can turn right and go to this barred door,
Of sad.
and you know there's another. Yeah, there's some sadness that seems to be coming from that direction.
Jeez.
So we're going to the sad man.
Maybe the sad man will be more coherent.
Tribar door is locked.
Open. Swings
I love
right
how
up.
hopeful and sweet you are, Minka.
Walk through, stepping into what is a 20 by 10 foot hallway, and then right in front of you, another bar door. Make a perception check. That's what you see.
As we're moving forward, having noticed Cheshire making eyes at the locket that I have, being like, mind. I'm gonna, as we're walking, just kind of experimentally like touch it with my bare finger.
Okay. You touch it with your bare finger. Make an Arcana check.
At least it's not a save.
13? No, that's more than that. 16.
16. With a 16, you rub your hand along the facet of this gem, and it's cold to the touch, especially cold on the gem. And so this seems to be like the face of this. Probably this is something that whatever effect this has emits. But feeling it, the back is also a little chilly, just a little bit less so. There's something about this that maybe has kind of like a dual nature. It's hard to tell, but certainly has something to do with cold. And it feels like relatively magical. Like this is not a uncommon magical item.
I don't suppose you'll let me like attune to it over the next hour as we're doing stuff.
No.
Okay. I'll just put it in a pocket, like try to make it so that Cheshire can't see like where on my body I'm putting it.
Okay, so you turn and you practice the best deception that you can. You've seen in Wild Home some of the squirrels that are pretty clever in the area will like pretend to hide acorns in several places before they finally pick one.
Yeah.
So very similar.
We call that the Thornholm squirrel maneuver.
There you go, yeah. TSM. So no problem. You do that. You are trying the other door. Swings right open.
If I'm allowed a contested insight, that's a natural 20.
Okay. I would say probably.
Don't steal my thing, man. Come on.
I mean, you can tell that she's hiding it, not necessarily where it is, but yeah, absolutely. You watch as Alina turns, looks over at you, and then just moves around a bunch. It's like the truffle shuffle from behind. But you step through this door that swings open, and Billy, the hallway that you enter goes down about 40 feet. Only 15 feet ahead of you, there is a barred door that goes off to the right. And then that seems to be the only thing. There's a dead end at the other end of the hall, but again, that feels weird. Make a perception check.
17.
17. You look up, and you can see again, there is, as this almost parallels the Hall of Names, another massive beam that runs all the way down. And this one too seems to disappear into that dead end at the end of the hall. Pretty weird. But aside from that, you don't see anything.
So about this wall.
The one that I was talking about.
No, this one.
This
Straight ahead.
eye for detail.
Make a so do you need to get up to the wall to do that with an investigation check?
I can do perception or
Perception. Cool.
investigation.
Make a perception check then if you want to do it from far away.
25.
With a 25, from this far away, it's almost impossible to see, but you could swear in the seams between two stone bricks, there might be a keyhole, but that couldn't be right. You have to get closer to check.
I mean, I get closer to check.
You get closer to check,
What are you talking about?
Do it.
and
Solve the puzzle.
it's so funny. It really looks like a keyhole.
Pass me.
You look through the keys. Are you looking for anything in particular? Just like a...
I mean, if it's something in the wall, it's got to be strong, so it's got to be a hefty key.
Okay, make a investigation check as you try to figure out some way of discerning the correct one.
Can I like
Five.
figure out the shape of the keyhole? Kind of like.
Make an investigation check.
Line it
Yeah,
up.
why not?
Mm, 15.
With a 15 of the 17 keys that have not been used or marked as potentially the other ones, and again, it could technically be the 5
Yeah,
that
it
are
could be
charcoal.
those. Yeah,
Or sorry,
I'm
the
not,
4 that
I'm
are
not
charcoal.
ruling those ones out in
Okay.
this situation. Yeah.
You narrow it down to 7. 2 of them are marked with charcoal. This is a pretty large keel, and so several of the smaller ones can fit in, and they feel like they might fit, but they're a little loose, hard to tell. However, what do you want to do? You have 10 potential keys here.
All right.
Did we look at the room to make sure we're not gonna get squished again?
With your previous investigation check, you didn't see any kind of like moving wall aside from potentially this one.
Not that I could identify.
Is this
I
a
feel pretty
dead
good
end?
about that.
Yep.
That's an easy 10% chance. Well, I guess actually, if
Stop
it's
doing the math
2
and
is-
just pick one.
All right, I'm gonna pick the one that seems large enough to fit. That isn't one of the like obviously too small ones.
Roll D10.
And I'm gonna put a little bit more weight into. Actually, no, I'm not, because those were different doors. Those were
Roll
metal and
D10.
those were small.
Believe.
Gotta believe in the heart of the cards.
The heart of the keys.
Is the sad smell stronger here?
Oh.
Hey, Rez, is the sad smell stronger here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
5.
5. With a 5, you get right up and you jam the key in.
Carefully
Don't take our keys away.
press it in.
You carefully press the key out, and it doesn't work.
All
It
right.
just kind of, and you're not even really sure now. It's so shallow that this is even a keyhole.
I'm gonna try go through the other
Cheshire.
9 of them.
Cheshire, do you think you could help Ori out?
Is there any... There's no writing on the walls or anything here. This is just after the last door that Billy opened and walked through. It's just hallway, dead end, wooden beam on top of us, right?
Hallway dead end, wooden beam on top of you, and then about midway down the hallway, there is a bar door off to the right as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
7.
With a 7, you stick this key in, and this all the way to your fingers, and still doesn't seem to touch the bottom. Not this key.
So this is magical then, huh?
Hard to tell. And then as you try to pull this away, it sticks. You try to pull it again, and it sticks. You could slide the key off the ring, but this key seems stuck.
It's stuck now. Some magical. There's something behind there though.
Should I just like blow it up?
That seems like it would probably. This wall probably has some powerful magic that would prevent it from getting blown up.
Make an Arcana check if you're trying to figure that
If it's
out.
got this like magical, this magical lock on
Wait,
it. Right?
you said it's stuck? Try to pull it out.
Well, it seems like it's. We'll give it a few more minutes.
19. You look, and as far as you can tell, you see no sigils, you see no writings, there's no
Seems
components.
So it's just the lock.
Well, yes.
Maybe,
It's over.
but it doesn't seem magical.
Oh,
I mean, I guess I'll take that key off the ring so I don't lose all of them.
Okay, no problem. You do that.
Alright, well,
how's it
She
going?
loses the key.
it's some
That
magic.
he did.
Maybe
I
it's
didn't
supposed
lose
to
it.
do
It's
that.
right there. It's just stuck.
Josh,
Joshua, could you please take a look?
I'll walk up next to Ori and like hip check him out of the way.
Little bump to the side, no problem. Make a,
And-
if you want, you can make a lockpick check. It is a disadvantage as somebody has jammed a key in there.
More looking at this, do I get the sense that it either is A, magical, or B, if it's actually just like
Make an
stuck
investigation
wedged?
check.
Oh, it just needs a little W.
23.
23. It's stuck. This is a lock. It is a lock that is designed. So there's a very subtle tapering to some of these keys, probably, because you can see, like, Ori put one in and it barely went in. You put another one, it went all the way through. And so beyond just the teeth, there are other elements to how this opens up. It's definitely a lock. And it's a lock that's designed to be very hidden and to only work with one key. This same key, now that you're thinking about it, you saw Valis and Ori looking at another wall very similar to this, probably is designed to open these kinds of doors.
So more than trying to unlock the door, just trying to get the key out.
Yeah, so that's an athletics check at this point. This has been jammed in by some buffoon. 19. You take like your hand, you wrap it around one end, you hold onto your own wrist, and you like have to brace. You like are all the way off the ground, your legs on the door, and then you just put both your legs down and yank, and it pulls right out.
nice.
Little bits of rust, like.
All right, now 8 more keys to go.
Hold on. Before you get another key
Let
stuck,
me see the keys.
I'm going to fan them out and not.
Hand them to me.
You vaguely hear a blade unsheathing.
Just come on.
You had to
All
go.
on the same team here.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
there
had
we
to
go.
go.
Do I see the type of key that I would imagine fits this lock on this ring?
I would say with that check, you see 2 keys that it could be. Both of them taper, although one drastically more than the other. And so, I mean, it's really split 50-50.
Those are
Who wants it?
50%.
I'll do it.
Were either of those two part of? Were they both part of the 10 that I had gotten?
Yes.
Try the
both
center
of
one.
them.
You said
First.
one was more tapered,
Correct.
meaning that
It becomes, it's very, very subtle, but ever so slightly, it gets a little bit more narrow towards the end than the other.
Thank you, Joshua.
Try the thinner one
This one.
first.
I'll try the third one first.
Okay.
But where is everyone else?
Right here.
Okay.
Standing in the
Stand where
doorway.
you want to stand. So I'll put it in. But where is this keyhole height wise too?
It's like right at belly button height. It's very awkward, and so like if you were just looking where a hand would go for a keyhole, you wouldn't see it.
It's like center.
Okay.
of the
So
wall.
Could I
like dead center of the wall.
could I look through it and see it?
You get down and you like look. I would say with that, you don't see anything. It's not necessarily because there's nothing there, but it's probably dark on the other side if there is in fact another side. But yeah, you can't see anything through it.
Alright, I got the 2 keys. I'll try the thinner one first.
Okay. You take this thinner key and you slide it in, and you have no idea what everybody's been talking about. This is obviously a lock. Like, it slides in just like a key should, and you turn it, and there is a little as the stone separates ever so slightly, and 2 doors just open.
Oh,
You see a 10 by 10 foot room that has another, you can see clearly on this side of the wall, seams in the stone that denote hidden doorways. So if you're entering from the north, hidden doorways to the west and to the east. This seems to be almost like a nexus.
Would one of those line up with the direction of where that other one was in the hall, or the Trail of
Vaguely in
Names?
that direction, but hard to tell how close it is.
Right, but there's the possibility that
Yeah.
they would connect, and it would be like a.
There's always a chance.
so where were the doors again?
So if you enter in from the north, there is a hidden door to the east and to the west.
Casually toss the keys back at Ori's face.
I catch
as-
them.
So the other barred door that we walked by, can I just look through the bars? It's in there. We
Just
ignored this one.
pull- peer right through, the only person to look in. And you see
A dead bard. Bard up from the bard.
this is a very large room, the largest room that you guys have seen, even larger than that barricade workshop. Through this doorway, the room is about 30 feet deep, and it goes farther out to the right than to the left. You can see almost immediately around the corner, only 10 feet in, there is a very small looking doorway, and you read Elvish, right? It's labeled kitchen. This big room has stone tables, huge 15-foot long stone tables that take up the middle element of this. There are several rows of these tables with stone benches, and the tables and benches themselves carved from the same stone as the floor, so they cannot be thrown, they cannot be lifted, they cannot be moved. The 4 tables are about 15 feet long, and then that is what you see.
So it's like a mess hall.
It is exactly that. It is a mess hall.
Why would anyone want to hide a kitchen in a mess hall?
Bizarre. Truly.
No, that's
No,
No,
that's the
that's
other
the.
one.
that's the door that was.
The secret door is a different door.
Oh,
I just
Yeah.
so
This was a bar
there
door
was
we
a
all
bar
walked
door
by.
that we all
This was
walked
behind the
by.
secret door, and I will say,
what the fuck?
putting these things together in that nexus of 3 secret doors, one of those secret doors, the one going to the west, likely goes to the kitchen.
Aha. All right, I catch up with the group. I'm like, it's mess
Fine
hall.
stance.
That one probably goes to the kitchen. It's back there.
Alright, but there's nothing else over on this side.
Is that
right?
the west one that goes to the kitchen?
That's what.
Besides
Yes,
the
the west one goes probably to the kitchen, and the east one, as you like turn and you kind of look at that seam in the wall, Rez goes, that's where that smell's coming from.
Alright, so.
So this is probably like if we're in a dungeon and there are prisoners, that's probably where the prisoners would eat, and
secret
then
guard
this secret passages are where the wardens and stuff would go, right? So if we're trying to get further in, it looks like we have to use these passages. So is there a coincidence in the passages that the sad man's in the passage that we might have to go through? Do you think they're just like set up like guards?
I don't think that's where we ultimately need to go. I think we need to continue down the Trail of Names and just go further down. We haven't gone down this way.
It's true.
Sad man might not want to fight. He's sad after all. Maybe he can give us information.
I wouldn't really trust someone who's been charmed by whatever's down below.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I would imagine that the sad man has one thing to tell us and that we're not supposed to be here.
I think we need to keep going unless we're looking for a fight.
We don't know that this is not the way we're supposed to go. For sure, though. The way forward might be through the sad man.
Okay, why don't we check anti-sad man door first, and then just to see if it
the
connects
trail
to the
of
other
names?
side.
The kitchen? The one that goes to the kitchen?
Yeah. Well, is there another door on the other side of it to see if it connects all the way over, or if that's completely a separate thing. Like, if there isn't a door in the kitchen that heads back the way we came towards the west, and it doesn't connect, then there's a whole other passage area that we don't know about, versus just going straight to the sad man.
It's a long but good point. Billy goes to the west of the kitchen.
Okay. So you head through the west hidden door that you guys think goes to the kitchen. You pop this door open, and you don't need a lock from this side. It just opens. You hear the little click from the other side, and it opens into not the kitchen, but a 5x5, just tiny little closet of a space. You see the elements of a hidden door that goes west, and almost certainly that will lead to the kitchen. There is another door that is hidden and leads to the south.
I hate this place.
Is this continuing towards the Trail of Names
Make an intelligence
to
check.
the west?
You haven't been keeping some kind of a map, so for you it's just...
Has anyone been keeping any type of map?
I mean, Alana's drawing a very good one over here. I see your map.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
There are 2 pages.
I need
so
like
this is
an
where
actual big sheet of
So,
paper to keep it going.
Billy pushes on the
with
west
the
door.
scale.
That's where it started, and then
You push on the west door, Bill.
that's where he came down on the ramp,
Is it a
and then this is
The door opens up into a small 15 by 25 foot kitchen. It features a long 5 foot wide butcher block island that runs the central 15 feet of the room lengthwise. There are knives and soup kettles, metal ladles, cutting boards, all hanging from wooden pegs jammed into the stone, and these have actually held up a little bit better than the iron. There is a door to the north that you would imagine is that same one that connects to the mess hall. There is a door to the east that you just walk through, but that's all that you really see. I will say, entering in from this direction, you can see that there seems to be a pressure plate on the other side. There is an area where you could slide a little stone piece through and disable that plate, but it seems like there are these same pressure plates on both of the interior parts of the kitchen. And so I would say, entering from this side, you can just barely see that there are holes or little elements of the stone that are designed to slide aside, and something will protrude from the floor should you step on that immediate stone in front.
So, like, that one coming from the mess hall is most likely trapped.
Both are most likely trapped.
Oh, both doors.
Just for that quick, like, so you can just step across the threshold and be over this trap. But if you were to just walk normally, you could trigger it.
There's a thing.
I'm
Really
gonna
points out a
hope.
thing.
Do we want to investigate this mess hall or go further south? 'Cause
This
I-
is a kitchen.
Rez, you smell any chocolate?
So with my background,
No. I smell, oh man. I mean, it doesn't smell good in there, but not, blue. No, I don't smell anything.
All right.
Billy just closes the west door.
Okay.
And pushes on the south door.
so invoking my background feature, Wanderer, I have an excellent memory for maps and geography and can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. Could I map out an estimate of which direction would continue through these secret passages and connect to the one by the Trail of Names?
If you just went going straight through the kitchen and then straight through the wall of the kitchen that is on the western side, you would eventually connect with the Hall of Names, but there doesn't appear to be any door or path there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Billy, you push this door open.
Look at the floor.
You look at the floor, it's stone, and then you look up and you can see you are in a huge barracks kind of room. At one point, there were tons of bunk beds in alternating rows. Now the area completely wrecked. This looks like it's been tossed. Beds are overturned. You do see a few corpses, although significantly fewer than in that barricade room, maybe 2 or 3. Although, I mean, are you entering in? This room is probably about 60 feet deep.
Does Billy see a door?
From where you're entering in, all the way down and to the left, you can see what looks like a heavy, heavy, heavy metal door.
But not like one of the hidden doors.
No. This is about 10 feet wide, and even from this distance, you can tell it's that kind of bluish sheen to metal. Yeah.
We've seen blue sheened doors before.
You have these incredibly powerful doors, the ones that seem to be almost like siege proof.
We've got the anti-magic door there here. And dead bodies. And beds.
Any other way out besides the adamantine, the bluish door?
No.
So our choices are the hallway of sadness,
The Trail of
the
Names.
trail of names, or through the big bad door. Which
Trail of Names, I vote.
do you want
Sadness.
to have
Sadness.
This
Alina tries to high five her before she. Damn it.
I'm trying to think why would another big door would be here if it weren't like another like entrance to this fortress.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think like, but it doesn't make sense that the entrance to the fortress would have the barracks right there, right?
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
I mean, yeah, that seems kind of counterintuitive. But you think about the signs that you had read, right? Interrogation, you had been through their psychic retraining, you had been through there, you were in the part called the dungeons. There was one more thing.
Oh yeah. The Sinner's Circle?
For what it's
Sinner's
worth.
Circle.
Maybe this...
Heading towards the Sinner's Circle.
If we want to head towards the Sinner's Circle, I have a feeling it's behind those doors. Because... And I don't know which way those doors are supposed to prevent people from going through. Are
Like
there
in or
winches on
out,
this
you
side? Yeah.
Do we have winches? or
From
can
this
we just push
distance, I
them?
mean, there are ruined beds and everything. Like, you would need to go in to find out. You can just see the metal of the door because these are tall doors in this room. So hard to tell. But you don't see any
Which way
winches.
did you want to go? I think we should try to get through these doors because I think...
I want to go talk to the sad guy, but you know, fine, we can go see these doors. Billy draws her sword just to be ready,
Okay.
and goes to the big blue doors.
We can go talk to the sad guy if you want.
Big blue doors.
You make your way through the room, passing by the wreckage, and you can see there are a few more corpses than you originally thought, and you're realizing they're all kind of piled towards the middle. And you're realizing now, as you kind of stop and look, all of them have their hands and feet bound. Most of them have their heads in cloth sacks, canvas sacks, pillows, sheets tied around. But they're all in a pile.
Are they just skeletons? Are they?
They seem to have like what look like tattered clothes that you might imagine a prisoner would wear.
So
But are the bodies like, are they like fleshy still, or are they like skeletons, like bones?
You see mostly fabric and clothing, and because they're bound, you don't see like flesh or bone. If somebody wants to get close and begin to dig through the clothing, they certainly can.
Blade to pull the sack off one of the heads.
Okay, you pull the sack off one of the heads. You see just desiccated flesh pulled tight against bone.
Got long dead things here. They've been tied up.
yeah, well,
Are
that's
they-
what-
Continuing on.
Arrange any type of ritual circle or something? Or it's just
Make a religion check.
Some sort of sinner's circle, perhaps.
Make a religion check.
A sinner's
Oh.
synergistic
like a
summoning
literal.
circle.
Maybe this is the sinner's circle.
Oh, that's so
Is the
literal.
room a circle?
It is not as a rectangle.
18.
18. This is the geometric shape that some people would describe as a pile. It looks like they were thrown haphazardly because there isn't really a lot of
Sinner's
eye movement.
pile.
For what it's worth, no respect whatsoever shown to these bodies. Literally just heaved into a pile with their legs and hands bound. And that in and of itself probably is meaningful in some way.
So it's a synergistic sinners slovenly circle.
How did they die? Like, were they killed?
Make a medicine check.
Were they... I'm trying to figure, like, were these dead bodies thrown in the circle? Or were they
medicine
thrown on and then killed?
They're not.
Um...
Do they have a bird mark on them, Valis? Like the one we saw in the picture?
7, and I'll also look for a burn mark.
A 7, no burn mark. You go up to the first one, and it's the one that Billy has pulled the cloth away from, the only one that you can really see anything from. So you go over and you go to like tilt the head back, and the whole thing just cracks off and like rolls down the side, and it's kind of hard to tell. No burn marks though.
I don't see any burn marks.
Valis has successfully ruled out burns as cause of death.
Okay. Well, I didn't the brands that we were seeing on the thing.
We probably would
reach the doors.
Yeah, for sure. You look at these doors.
We probably need to like take off more hoods and stuff to look for. Do you want to do that?
Well,
I don't want to.
I guess that's more morbid curiosity than the answers.
Do I feel like we've gone astray of the path set out by the Sentinel? And like, I feel strongly that we should be going through the Trail of Names.
I mean, that's how you feel. I can't tell you how to feel.
How do I feel?
Because we should be going straight down.
I cannot tell you how to feel. If you feel weird about it, that's how you feel.
What do you mean by straight down?
To the like the Throne of Blood is going to be down below. We're still in the ruins.
Going down
We've
below.
been going down.
We're down.
But we're still in the ruins of the
Billy,
fortress.
You get closer to these doors. With your sword drawn, you like turn, you look to the right, you take the hood off one, you see Valis crack its head off, and you're like, nope, you just keep going back towards the doors. As you get there, the feeling in the air changes. It's heavier here. And you don't feel sadness or anything. You don't feel this often, and the last time that you felt this, you remember seeing this long dark pathway and those tarot cards just laid out in front of you. You recognize that you feel just a little bit of dread.
It's this way.
How can you tell?
This way sucks.
Okay. Fair.
I'm with you, Billy.
Lena walks over to the door.
Also, wait. When Rez said he smelled blue, did he mean like blue, like the color of the metal, or did he mean like blue, like the sadness?
No, he said like sadness and loneliness.
Okay.
I mean, like the abstract concept of blue.
Yeah.
It's hard to really put into words, you know?
Yeah, but that's, you don't smell it here, right?
No, I mean, it's kind of back the way that we came from, honestly. But this is bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Shadowfell bad.
I'm gonna approach the door and see if I feel anything.
Okay. You get a little bit closer, and every step that you take makes your armor feel heavier. It's this sense of something in the back of your mind that is, you can't tell if it's encouraging you or screaming at you to stop. If you still had your memory, you probably would know. But there is something missing that is very important in this moment.
I'll look to Billy one last time. I don't feel like I'm ready for this fight ahead, but if the rest of you do, then I can do my best. You ready to move forward?
No. And then Billy tries to open the door.
It's very much locked, and you don't see a lock hole for it. So you just go no, and dramatically almost like bump your face into the door.
So
See, this way sucks.
last one of these had winches and stuff, right? That's where we were before.
Yeah, but they were on the side that we were trying to go through, and I don't. Are there winches on this side?
Not that you see, no.
Maybe there's a mechanism wherever the sad man is.
For
That could be
detail,
what he's guarding.
Make an investigation check.
I'm looking for hidden shit.
Because
to
the last time we
store.
saw a charm person, they were guarding something, a mechanism that opened
He
a
was
door.
guarding one of 4 mechanisms to open the last door, so
Uh-huh.
possibly.
With the 21, you don't see any kind of hidden mechanism, winches, you don't see any hidden tunnels or anything like that. There's no real patterning to the door. It just like lines and kind of this, like, this doesn't exist in Alberon, obviously, but like vaguely Art Deco in terms of like the geometric kind of patterning, but nothing like that stands out as symbology or buttons or anything like that.
Okay.
Does the door open inward or outward?
I would say you can almost certainly tell because it doesn't have a seam and it's a really wide door. it probably goes up or down or to the side.
All right. I say we go back to the sad dude. Talk to him. Maybe kill him. Probably kill him.
What are we gonna gain?
There's probably a mechanism in that area, just like there was a mechanism being guarded by the other charmed guy.
You've done it once, you've done it twice, you probably have done it a third time at this point.
I have an idea, but it's a bit grotesque. Maybe there's a pile blocking the mechanism to open this door.
Yeah, you're probably right. Alina's gonna take the end of her staff, and just start like.
So like, there's a pile of corpses all bound, and you can see the one with the head and the teeth just like pulled up against the where the gums used to be. But each of you either take your staff, or like at one point you all like kind of wedge and implement against one of the bodies, and at the same time you push so like multiple of them just fall away, and there's just floor.
So we just moved a bunch of corpses, broke a bunch of dead people for nothing. Thanks. Can we go to the sad guy now?
You're welcome.
Come on, Billy.
Lead the way.
And so the curse has begun.
Is there any wood in this room?
Yeah, the beds are carved of wood.
Before I make leave this room, she's gonna take some of the wood that's kind of here and like make a little like memorial sign and put it next to the bodies and be like, I'm so sorry. And then leave.
You put that there and you look, and in this memorial, I mean, is it in any shape or like?
So like Alana is like a cross because we live in a Christian society. And crosses are like those like so what, like whatever Minka would think of like as like a grave marker, she would like druid craft the wood into like a grave marker.
Yeah,
whatever shape that would be.
Make a religion check.
Do I have plus religion? I think I do. I think it's a dirty 20, but let me just double check. Yep, dirty 20.
Okay. So across several cultures, and you, for all of your kind of like relatively bumpkin nature, you've come across a pretty wide variety of people. I mean, the people that you meet are pretty eclectic. And so you've met dwarves who worship a goddess of death known as a rune carver. And they have like a certain sigil. There's all different kinds of people. And so looking over here, maybe humans or elves primarily. And that does bring to mind that you've seen symbology in here already. You've seen the symbol of a moon over a crashing wave, and you've seen these 6 stars drawn into a constellation. With that religion check, the elvish god of atonement, Troanwe, is that moon over a crashing wave. Maybe somebody had kind of explained that to you. It can be a lot of people actually who come to where you're from would worship this god specifically because of that. And then the other one, that symbol, it doesn't feel quite as neutral as that. Stars are typically associated with like beautiful things. Something about this particular constellation doesn't feel great.
Okay, so should probably opt for the moon and waves, and hopefully, because they were all prisoners, kind of in like a hope that they found maybe atonement and peace and death, and atonement for us for just fucking around with their bodies. So that seems perfect.
Is there anything that you're saying? You just kind of set that down and return to the group.
So she's gonna sort of put in like, I am so sorry, and I hope you find some peace. Sorry. And then just run out of the room.
Walk out of the room, no problem. It feels like that symbol, there's something definitely meaningful to that, and so maybe that's the right thing to do. Something nags at your mind, but that's what you know.
Yeah.
Anything else people want to do?
Billy's like making her way to the sad guy.
You make your way back to this sort of airlock of a room, 5x5. You pop out through the east. Is everybody following Billy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You make your way into the slightly
Can't be
larger
behind.
little nexus of a room. And Billy.
I'm following as close as she'll let me.
Okay, yeah. So just real close.
I'm bringing up the rear.
You push open the eastern door that you have not been through yet. It parts, and you see in front of you a very short set of stairs that rise up about 5 feet to a flat platform. And on the other end of that platform, you see, in not great shape, a ballista that is pointed down and just a little bit out of sight. You can feel this intense feeling of sadness. And for just a moment, you feel rain on your skin before that fades away. And there is something in here that you feel like brings you back to parts of your life that you don't care to revisit.
Can I see anything?
Make a perception check. You certainly can.
You said there's a ballista pointed down. That's a. Like, I obviously know what a ballista is, but
for those who
maybe for our
don't,
viewers. Yeah.
It is a crossbow, but about 20 feet long, and designed to take down walls or ships. It's a siege weapon.
weaponry.
Gotcha.
It's
Is
the
it
big
pointing
ass boat.
at us or
No.
away from us?
Pointing away from you. It's pointing north. You are entering from the western side of this room.
So, like, the corpses were coming from that direction over the barricades?
From the yes, although significantly further in that direction, marking the hallway that you went down, probably about 100 feet. If you enter into the room, you can look past the ballista and see what lay in front of it if you want.
Are we all?
27.
Okay. The 27, Billy, you peer in. And at one point in the very back of this room, there was what looks like a cabinet, and you can see a whole bunch of arrows, actually, not arrows, but crossbow bolts that are still within. And in the elements of broken glass, you can just barely see a little bit of a reflection around the corner. And you see a true, like, prison block. This is not just a bunch of bunk beds. You can see several very small, maybe like 3x8 cells off on the left and the right sides. You see several all the way down on the other end of this kind of cell block. And you see there are several corpses. They are not bound like the ones that you just passed, but all of them, and you're assuming they're corpses. At this distance, they could be people, but they're not moving. But all of them are positioned with their hands covering their faces.
And the ballista's pointing in that direction?
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Billy relays what she sees and heads up the stairs.
Following.
You walk up the stairs.
More sad man.
You make your way over to this ballista.
Just to
And
the ballista.
Looking beyond, all of you can now see this space opening out in front of you. There are a number of different corpses, several of which are in these cells. There are a few of which are on the outside of them as well. And the ones on the outside you do see are wearing the kind of ceremonial armor of this prison, so guards. But that is what you see.
And all the corpses are positioned with their hands covering their faces.
Yes.
Do we all feel this sadness?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you? Is it
You wanna stay
like
behind?
you're getting warmer sadness or
You want to shoot a big
colder
thing?
sadness in any direction?
As soon as you get to the ballista, it's all the same. It's just pretty oppressive.
It's not really my
And then
ability style.
You might have a chance to shoot Ori.
what?
Threaten me with a good time.
You'll be able to stay out of the way if any of those things wake up.
Is there any sign of a particularly sad man?
You see several corpses all
Try and
holding
keep
their
Minko with you.
like hands in their face, and they look kind of sad. But aside from that, there's no like particularly sad amongst
No
them.
one who seems to even be living, right? Those are all corpses. So
Make a medicine check.
Billy's gonna kind of investigate
One.
further into the hallway.
They might all be alive, Ori.
oh shit.
You creep your way down past the ballista. You can see there's a similar kind of opposite staircase that descends now into the space. Entering in, you can see there are these corpses, all of which are covering their faces. There are several that are in the actual cells themselves, and they are dressed as prisoners. There are 2 that look like they were maybe guards at one point. Well, yeah, that's what you can see from here.
Billy's gonna take a look in some of the cells.
Okay. Is anybody going with Billy? Billy is now
I am.
descending the staircase. Alina is going as well. Minka is going
The
as well.
staircase is going down towards the people with their faces covered.
Correct. And so, actually,
Oh, is
you guys
this
have
gonna
seen
be
almost everything here.
a visual perspective?
I mean, sort of.
He's just gonna show us the map finally.
Is it like another 5 feet down, or is it further down?
5 feet down. So you guys are currently right here at the guard station, little staircase. Here's that. It's called the workers' wing, and that is what you're seeing. So
Okay.
So where in the workers' wing?
you are like right where that little ballista is, and
Yeah.
walking past it into the
Okay,
workers'
so this
wing.
was a workstation for the prisoners to do shit.
Maybe, yeah. I'm doing that for
And
the
that
camera
was,
right now. I don't know if you
like,
guys can
if they
see
tried
that.
to
But
run
Albron
out.
RPG on Instagram.
TikTok.
So you enter into that space, and looking in, you can see, well, with a little visual perspective.
Yeah, see, there it is. There it is.
Good, our big bad battle map.
I just want to do a fight. Why does Ori keep trying to not fight?
We'll also keep trying to keep him alive.
Relatively small.
Ah, it's a little baby battle map.
Yeah.
That's like a
One of those horrifying low tech guys.
Visual aid.
preteen battle map.
So you are. 1 second here. Yeah, you're entering from there.
Not a sponsor.
So the ballista is here.
The ballista is like right behind where your miniatures are, and the staircase is where all of your miniatures are currently standing.
Would anyone like to staff the ballista?
Someone has
What would
already been
count as
recruited.
siege
It's
weapon?
fine.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh, you're
that's a
at the
proficiency
ballista?
that you
Very
need,
good.
right?
Is there arrows?
Who has siege weapon proficiency?
I would say a ranged weapon would kind of count.
Is it loaded?
It's not. It's in disarray.
Oh, it's in disarray.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, you
Does
could
it seem like
theoretically
it was
fix it.
probably destroyed by rioting prisoners, and that's
Make
why
it-
there was like the fight before
Make
with
an
the
insight check.
guard
Make an insight check.
people.
Billy's gonna just kind of peek in each cell. Are they barred doors, or are they like solid?
These are solid metal doors with a very large barred window in them, and so you can get up and like look in and see the entire cell.
27.
With a 27, you look in, and this is the Sherlock Holmes moment where like all of a sudden you're like seeing everything put together. You can see that from this vantage point, at one point there are all kinds of like divots in the hallway, kind of like around the corner, and so it looks like this ballista was shot in that direction several times. There are not like bodies littering this whole place, but there are a few that you can see, and many of them, it's hard to tell how they died from this distance, but all of their faces are covered, almost like they're crying. It also means that you cannot see their faces, and so if there's any kind of injuries or anything like that, if it's on the face or the throat, you can't really see. And that alone tells you that's probably where whatever kind of sign you're looking for is.
In the direction of where the ballista has been shot a bunch of times.
Just
And following the closed-eyed people, or the face people.
so you can't tell how they died because all it looks like is a bunch of crying corpses.
Are they all looking in the same direction?
But like,
They're like exactly as I drew them,
Oh, I see.
1-to-1 as they are in the world.
so the ballista shots are over here.
No, ballista's up behind us.
Yeah, that's where the shots seem to have like hit and scraped down into the wall, and like there's damage there that is pursuant to like a ballista having been fired there. Yeah.
I
So
need to
it's-
ask, why are we looking for the sad man again? You want to speak to him?
Oh, well, if we want to open that door, there's a mechanism somewhere.
I'm gonna go
We can't get through
cautiously
What key?
the blue door.
closer to that area to see if there's any indication of what happened here.
What?
Like,
There's a key. What do you mean there's a key?
Was there
What key?
was there a key?
Say
hole?
more.
Get in a little bit closer.
Open the door.
You begin to look around. Where are you going? What are you looking at?
I'm following the trajectory of where you had pointed out.
So you walk straight and diagonal in this direction, and you would get to that human on the corner. They are like kneeling down. Their face is
Hold on.
leaning.
Ori, stop. Ori, stop.
Are you stopping?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone,
Stop.
regroup.
What are you saying? What key did you see to open the door?
I didn't see a key. There is a key. We gotta go get the key to open the door.
Okay.
Did you see a keyhole?
No. But not all keyholes have key. Or all key.
Billy's been just looking in each
Okay.
of the cells.
Okay. I'm sorry. I took that a lot more seriously than it needed to be taken.
Okay, explain your little one.
I would go back to
I thought that Cheshire was being helpful.
You turn and go back.
17.
17.
The key.
With a 17,
Sad man.
you see
Yeah, that's where we're
in the
going.
cell that is closest to Hannah, that has an individual in it, there is a little bit of a glint that is coming from there. Not metallic, like an actual glowing light of some kind.
Okay.
And
No, the one that's closest to Hannah.
yeah, right there.
Oh,
I'm down.
And that light is coming from between the decaying fingers that is covering this face.
Guys, I
Or you
just had a
still got
horrible
the
thought.
keys.
What if it's ghosts?
It's probably not
It's
ghosts.
always good.
What'd you find?
Something's shining in there.
is the cell lock
Can I
open?
check out,
Right up.
It's locked.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that these have obvious keyholes.
Yeah.
Do any of the does the metal on any of the keys match the door?
For the first time, these are the only locks that you have found that have a relatively small, like standard, what we would consider a keyhole, and you only have one key that goes to those.
nice.
Super easy. Opens right up. You can see this corpse directly in front of you, hands in front of the face, like tilted over on the side. They're a little skinny, and at one point you can tell they were an elf. Aside from that, not a lot you can tell without getting closer. I mean, what are you looking to do?
Don't catch the big sad.
A. B. Billy takes her sword out and just kind of like attempts to push the body over
Okay.
to see if like the arm moves out of
Sure.
the way. So light.
You push the body, just taking the sword. Elements of the flesh kind of and crumble away from where the sword pokes in.
Ow!
Hey! As you poke it, it does shift and the arms like fall away, and you can see even in the mummified remains of this face, they look sorrowful, but much, much more interesting to you. The mouth is open to an extent where the jaw almost certainly had to be broken, and wedged into the mouth there is a pale piece of quartz, and this mark that is carved into it that looks ugly and almost painful to look at. But because it is 10:10, this is where we're going to stop for the evening. And we'll pick back up next week on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Outrun RPG. But somehow no combat. You guys, I don't know if you could tell this based on the map. You guys went all the way around one side of the map,
And then said, let's go back.
literally all the way around here, and got to here, and then went no. You guys went all the way up here. You hung out here for a while. You were like, okay, but no. You came over here. You looked at the doorway that would have let you just bypass this and go straight into the main hallway.
I knew it!
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our characters didn't know it. That's
Correct.
the thing.
Well, I just rolled.
like
and then you
we
guys
knew,
went all
like
the way
we-
around. You went straight ahead. You walked into this little airlock room. Then you went around and came right back around into the center. You went to every place but where the one encounter was. So great. Awesome work. Oh,
We gotta get our
sad.
stuff. You have to check all the rules.
anyways,
so you
we'll be
know.
back next week. Thank you for sticking with us.
Gotta lock
but
it.
We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.